Black silk school beauty becomes maid. Wake up, young Master Yang, you can't do it before we even start. Gao Yang was in a daze when he heard a soft female voice. TSK, are all the rich kids in China so weak? Gao Yang resisted the urge to sleep and raised his eyelids to see a hot beauty half kneeling next to him. The beauty had a curvy figure, wearing a black JK skirt, showing the perfect waist-to-hip ratio to the fullest. A pair of long legs against the short skirt looked even more slender and straight, like two white jade pillars, breathtakingly beautiful. Seeing Gao Yang staring at her closely, she didn't seem to care, and even deliberately straightened her chest, and said to Gu Hui with a seductive smile, "Young Master Yang, you finally woke up." Gao Yang shook his dizzy head. "Who are you? Where am I?" The girl opened her almond eyes slightly and said in not very fluent Chinese, "HMPH, young Master Yang, you are boring. You called me little sweetie 1 second, and turned your face away the next second. It turns out that all men are pigs." Gao Yang couldn't help but look confused. Am I reborn, and this is heaven? Heaven uses this to test Carters. Gao Yang only remembered that he was a 996 working social animal in his previous life. Because his girlfriend asked for a sky-high gift of 380,000, he kicked her out in a rage. He wanted to make some money by writing novels, but he failed repeatedly. He went to a bar to get drunk, and when he came out, he was hit by a semi-trailer. When he woke up, he came here. The girl pointed to the nameplate on her chest. "Young Master Yang, my name is Park Ji-hyun, and I am your personal butler on your private yacht. You can't forget this, right? Private yacht. Personal butler." Gao Yang was even more confused. He didn't even have his own car before. He finally saved enough money to buy a chamois SU7, but he died before he could pick up the car. As for private yachts, he didn't even dare to think about it. As for how this personal butler was, he didn't dare to ask more. Just when Gao Yang was feeling a little dry in the mouth and wanted to get up to drink some water, a piece of news flashed on the TV next to him and stunned him. This year, under the leadership of Chairman Gao Chichang, Jiangxin Group has achieved new highs in performance, with a market value exceeding 500 billion, and President Gao's net worth has also exceeded 100 billion, becoming the richest man in Jiangdong province. Looking at the familiar face on TV who was interviewed with a big back hair, Gao Yang was stunned. "Nima, isn't this my dad?" At this time, a wave of memories rushed into Gao Yang's mind. It turned out that Gao Yang was not reborn, but traveled to a parallel world. In this world, the Gao family is a huge family, and Gao Yang's father Gao Chichang has also jumped from a small vendor selling fish in the vegetable market to the chairman of a large listed company. Not only that, Gao Yang's second uncle Gao Chisheng is the owner of the largest nightclub Heijinhan in Jinghai City, and is also a veritable top boss. In addition, Gao Yang has 3 aunts. The eldest aunt Gao Xiaoqin is the chairman of Jingzhou Shanshui Group. The second aunt Gao Xiaofeng is a top female star in China. The youngest aunt Gao Xiaolan is a female doctor who graduated from Yelu University with a high IQ. Even more amazing is Gao Chichang's elder brother, Gao Yang's uncle, Gao Yuliang, the second in command of the Jiangdong provincial cabinet. Such a background is simply terrifying. Gao Yang has lived abroad since he was a child. Because he was tired of the life of drinking and partying outside, he wanted to return to China to experience it. So, the operation at home, Herchui. With Gao Yang's hard work, he successfully got the admission notice of Jinghai University, a top domestic institution. And today is the day when he returns from a trip abroad on his family's luxury yacht and plans to report to school. And Park Ji-hyun was hired by Gao Yang from Kim Kai country because she was capable of high-intensity work and served as his personal housekeeper, responsible for his food, clothing, housing and transportation. Oh my god, this life has started off a bit against the sky. By the way, where's the system? System, come out. As a failed author, Gao Yang knows that a time traveler must bring a system, and those who know it. At this time, Gao Yang suddenly heard a burst of irritable lowly voice in his mind. "The host is calling you sister. You disturbed the queen's sleep." Then a petite and cute virtual little lowly image slowly emerged in front of him. The moment he saw her, 6 words popped up in Gao Yang's mind. "Hey, little system, you have a bad temper. Don't call me system, call me queen." You dare to be stubborn, believe it or not, I will uninstall you. Host, hello, my name is Zayo, you can also call me Xiaoyuzi. The system instantly became cowardly. Gao Yang snorted coldly. Little goblin, you can only consider yourself unlucky to meet this Taoist priest. Of course, only Gao Yang can see Zayo's image, and it's just a virtual projection. At this time, Park Ji-hyun has changed into a tight maid outfit, and her sexy figure is even more curvaceous. Young Master Yang, who are you talking to? Park Ji-hyun saw Gao Yang talking to himself in the air and couldn't help asking. No. Nothing, maybe I'm a little tired recently. Gao Yang waved his hand quickly, and Zayo in front of him playfully stuck out his tongue and disappeared. Park Ji-hyun didn't ask any more questions, but licked his lips coquettishly. Young Master Yang, if you don't hurry up, the yacht will be docked soon. Seeing Park Ji-hyun's reluctant look, Gao Yang felt a little dry in the mouth. How can I bear this? I'm coming. After saying that, Gao Yang rushed straight up. Chapter 2, The Beautiful School Belle Turned Maid. 5 hours later, Gao Yang lit a cigarette and began to smoke. He glanced at Park Ji-hyun, who was pretending to be asleep beside him, and couldn't help but sigh, Korean women really are something. Park Ji-hyun shyly opened her eyes, her face flushed as she asked, Young master, what are you talking about? Gao Yang smiled and waved his hand, nothing, I'm just going to the bathroom. With that, he pushed open the door and walked into the luxurious yacht's restroom. As he glanced at himself in the mirror, he was stunned. Is that me? Damn, I look too good. In the mirror, Gao Yang appeared exceptionally handsome, the kind of unforgettable beauty that people would never forget after a single glance. He had sharp brows, star-like eyes, and deep black pupils that seemed to read one's soul. His facial features were sculpted like fine artwork, perfect and flawless. Such incredible looks were rare on Blue Star, probably only those handsome guys who love reading foreign novels could compare to him. No need to thank me. Since their host was so ugly in his past life, this system reshaped your face. Are you satisfied with your current looks? I'll give you 99 points, keeping 1 point in case you get too arrogant. Knock. Knock. At that moment, a knock echoed from outside the bathroom, followed by Park Ji-hyun's voice, Young master, what are you doing in there? Could it be that you're... I'm fine, Gao Yang replied. That's good. The yacht has docked. Master and madam are waiting for you at the pier. Okay, got it. I'll be right out. Gao Yang responded and quickly straightened his clothes before walking out. Once Gao Yang stepped off the yacht, he saw a row of luxury cars lined up at the dock, with dozens of well-dressed bodyguards standing on either side, creating an overwhelming sense of pressure. At the front of the crowd stood two distinguished middle-aged individuals. It was Gao Yang's father, Gao Changqiang, and his mother, Chen Shuting. Gao Changqiang was stocky and had a resolute face. His perfectly fitted suit accentuated his extraordinary aura. One hand was in his pocket, and the other held a cigar. His eyes revealed an undeniable authority. Chen Shuting wore a luxurious chapeau, her graceful figure and beautiful face radiating elegance and the air of a high-class lady in every movement. Mom, Dad, I'm back. Gao Yang strode toward them. Seeing him, Gao Changqiang and Chen Shuting immediately stepped forward. Yangzi, you've grown taller. Come, let Mom hug you. Chen Shuting immediately embraced Gao Yang, her eyes full of affection. You little rascal, you've been out having fun for so long and didn't he even call home? Have you gotten too independent now? Gao Changqiang said sternly but with concern in his eyes. Har, don't blame me, Dad. The signal was terrible abroad. After a warm family reunion, Gao Yang sat in the extended Lincoln and rode back with his father to their villa in Jinghai City. The Gao family villa was located in a semi-mountainous area of Jinghai City, occupying the most prestigious position on the hill. From the outside, it resembled a grand castle, towering majestically and exuding luxury. The villa's architecture followed a classical European style, with its cream-colored exterior walls adorned with intricate reliefs, giving it an elegant and grand atmosphere. It was surrounded by lush green lawns dotted with various exotic flowers, filling the air with a fragrant aroma. In front of the villa, a butler in a black tailcoat and several maids in white uniforms were already waiting. The butler, named Fu Bo, was around 50 years old. His hair was neatly combed, and his face was warm and welcoming. He stood on the steps, slightly bowing, with his hands crossed in front of him. The master and young master will arrive soon. Everyone, be prepared. Yes, the maids replied in unison. They stood in a line, their faces beautiful, their figures tall and slender. They wore white maid uniforms, with their long legs clad in matching black stockings from Balenciaga. As the extended Lincoln slowly pulled into the open space in front of the villa, Fu Bo and the maids immediately straightened their postures, their faces showing respectful smiles. Seeing Gao Yang step out of the car, Fu Bo hurried forward and bowed slightly. Welcome home, young master. The maids also bowed, saying in unison, Welcome, young master. Gao Yang nodded slightly in response. He looked around and was thoroughly satisfied with the luxurious villa. Suddenly, his gaze stopped on a maid standing at the front, and he froze. Damn, isn't he that Liu Ruyan, the beautiful school belle from my old school? Chapter 3, So the Gao family is this rich? This Liu Ruyan was none other than Gao Yang's high school campus belle in his past life, and Gao Yang had once confessed his feelings to her. Liu Ruyan had a face that could bring nations to ruin, but her figure was ordinary at best. Yet, she had a habit of padding, turning her 36A into a 36C with a little help. Gao Yang called this kind of act padding fraud. Although Liu Ruyan appeared pure and innocent on the outside, she was truly a gold digger at heart. Back when Gao Yang had mustered the courage to confess to her, Liu Ruyan didn't even spare him a glance. Instead, she dismissively rejected him in a rather sarcastic tone. Sorry, GG, I know you're a nice guy, but I'm still young, and my family doesn't allow me to date. Then she pointedly glanced at her phone. This phone is so old. I really wish someone would gift me the latest iPhone 15 Pro Maximum. At that time, Gao Yang was just a naive boy in the throes of his first love. Driven by his strong feelings for Liu Ruyan, he scrimped and saved for months and finally bought an iPhone. But when he saw Liu Ruyan sitting in the back of a Mercedes S-Class with a middle-aged man, who had his arm around her waist, his world came crashing down. It could be said that Liu Ruyan, the tea master, not only gave Gao Yang a lesson in love but also completely shattered his worldview. From that moment on, Gao Yang learned an important lesson: no good comes from being a licking dog. In this timeline, Liu Ruyan hadn't been his classmate, but her deep-rooted gold digger DNA hadn't changed a bit. At that moment, Liu Ruyan looked up and met Gao Yang's gaze. Gao Yang took one glance and instantly saw the longing for wealth and a luxurious life in her eyes. It could be said that a woman like Liu Ruyan would do anything, as long as the money was right. She would spread her legs without hesitation. Strange. Why is this green tea bitch working as a maid in my house? Is she trying to pull a Cinderella story? Gao Yang thought to himself, intrigued. He was no longer the naive boy from before, and he didn't mind having some fun with this gold digger. Just then, Chen Shooting spoke up. Yangzi, you've been living abroad for so many years, and I was worried you wouldn't be able to adjust when you came back, so I hired a few young maids to take care of you at home. Thanks, Mom. Gao Yang nodded and pretended to be obedient, though inside he was thrilled. Liu Ruyan, noticing that Gao Yang's gaze lingered on her, felt secretly pleased. Oh my god, could the young master of the Gao family be interested in me? But that's normal, I'm so beautiful that no man could resist. Though this young master seems like a pure, inexperienced boy, I'll show him how to make me his. Liu Ruyan's eyes gleamed with excitement, already fantasizing about her future life as the young madam of the Gao family. Let us go inside and eat first. Your dad still has some business to take care of, Gao Changchang said, glancing at his watch. As soon as Chen Shooting heard this, her face immediately dropped. I knew something was off. You just got back and you're already off to deal with business. What's more important, our son or your business? I warn you, if you leave today, don't even think about sleeping in the same bed tonight. Gao Changchang, a powerful businessman who feared nothing in the world, was utterly terrified of his wife. When he saw that Chen Shooting was angry, he hurried over and wrapped his arms around her waist. Wife, please don't be mad. I promise I'm not going anywhere tonight. Humph, you better keep your word. Watching his parents bicker, Gao Yang couldn't help but smile. He hadn't expected his once honest, simple father, a humble fish vendor, to become so successful. But his personality had clearly not changed a bit, still very much under his wife's control. He quickly stepped in to mediate. Mom, Dad, let us go inside. I'm starving. With that, Gao Yang pushed open the door and stepped into the villa. The atmosphere of luxury immediately hit him. The first thing he saw was the spacious and well-lit living room, with a massive leather sofa at the center. The armrests and backrest were adorned with intricate gold edges, and various valuable decorations filled the room. In a word, extravagant. The dining room had a long rectangular table that took up most of the space. The kitchen was equipped with every high-end tool imaginable, and the Michelin-starred chef was busy preparing dinner. The mouth-watering aromas of various dishes filled the air. Come, sit down. Your second uncle and your aunt will be here soon. Chen Shooting bustled about, directing Gao Yang to sit. Before Gao Yang could settle, the doorbell rang, and the footsteps of a maid running to open the door could be heard. Looking up, Gao Yang saw a middle-aged man walking in with a sway in his step. He was slim, dressed in a sharp suit, and wearing gold-rimmed glasses. A wicked smile danced on his lips. This man was none other than Gao Yang's second uncle, Gao Chishing. Yo, little Yang is back. Gao Chishing spotted Gao Yang sitting on the sofa and immediately opened his arms, walking over. Gao Yang hurried to his feet, smiling as he greeted him. Hello, second uncle. Chapter 4 I just turned 18 this year tilde. Gao Chishing patted Gao Yang on the shoulder and praised. Good boy, it's been such a long time since we last met, and you've grown so tall. After the two exchanged a few pleasantries, Gao Chishing sat down. Brother, where are the second and third sisters? Are they coming today? Gao Chichiang took a puff of his cigar and said. Your second sister has recently taken on a new movie and is very busy. She said she is going for the Golden Bull Award this year. Not to mention Xiaolan, she is busy working on her graduation thesis abroad. A trace of disappointment flashed across Gao Chishing's eyes. Alas, our family hasn't gotten together in a while. By the way, big brother, I heard that a director wanted to seduce my second sister a while ago. Has the matter been resolved? Gao Chichiang twisted his neck and said calmly. Don't worry, he's just a coward. Last time I asked Lao Mo to look for him, he was so scared that his pants got wet. Lao Mo warned him that if he sees our Gao family again, he must bow his head and behave himself. Gao Chishing snorted coldly. He should be taught a lesson. He even dared to say that he wanted the entertainment industry to ban Xiaofeng. He really doesn't know the methods of our Gao family. Gao Yang was stunned by the conversation between Gao Chichiang and Gao Yang. He couldn't help but ask. Uncle, is our family so awesome now? Gao Chishing gave a wicked smile. Xiao Yang, I'm not bragging to you. If a coin falls from Jinghai, it will have the surname Gao. Chen Shooting, who was standing next to him, heard this and glared at him fiercely. Sheng, don't say such things to Yang Yang, it will corrupt him. Gao Chishing smiled crookedly. Hey, sister-in-law, Yang Yang is not a child anymore. We should train him well and make him the successor of our family in the future. Just as Chen Shooting frowned and wanted to scold Gao Chishing again, the sound of clicking of high heels was heard outside the restaurant. Everyone looked up and saw that it was Gao Yang's aunt, Gao Xiaoqin, the chairman of Shanshui Group. Gao Xiaoqin was wearing a bright red Prada slim coat with a short skirt underneath. The hem just reached her knees, revealing her long and white calves. Okay, you guys, come eat first without waiting for me, right? Gao Xiaoqin's voice arrived before she even showed up, giving people a sense of déjà vu of Wang Shifeng in Dream of the Red Chamber. Gao Yang raised his head and looked carefully at his aunt of prominent status. Gao Xiaoqin had delicate makeup on her face, and the eyeliner at the corners of her eyes was slightly raised, adding a bit of charm to her bright eyes. The bright red lipstick on her lips made her temperament look even more noble and cool. Seeing Gao Yang staring at her, Gao Xiaoqin also looked over and immediately showed an aunt-like smile on her face. Oh, little Yang Yang. Come on, let auntie hug you. I miss you so much. Gao Xiaoqin took 2 steps at a time and walked forward to give Gao Yang a bear hug, followed by a smack and a hard kiss on the cheek. This made Gao Yang blush. Why is this child still shy? Come on, let your aunt take a look. Wow, he's so handsome. Even more handsome than my brother when he was young? Tell your aunt the truth. Have you been causing trouble to other girls in the past few years? Gao Yang quickly waved his hand. Aunt, please don't talk nonsense. I'm not that kind of sea king. I understand. Gao Xiaoqin showed an expression of someone who had experienced this, and then took out a black card from her bag. Look, there's 10 million in this card. It's pocket money your aunt gave you. When you get a girlfriend, be generous to her. 10 million. Gao Yang's hands were shaking with excitement as he took the card. To be honest, he had never seen so much money before, let alone owning it. Even if he worked 996 all his life, he probably wouldn't earn 10 million. Gao Xiaoqin just took out 10 million in pocket money. It really proves the saying that sometimes the gap between people is greater than the gap between people and dogs. Oh, Xiaoqin, you're spoiling him again. Seeing Gao Xiaoqin being so generous, Gao Chiqian was somewhat unhappy. He always advocated that children should be raised in poverty, so even though he sent Gao Yang abroad to study over the years, he did not give him too much money to squander, and only gave him a fixed 100,000 yuan a month for living expenses. Big sister, you are going too far. You are so generous when you give. How can I, as your uncle, be any worse? After saying that, Gao Chisheng also took out a golden card from his pocket and handed it to Gao Yang. Nephew, this is the exclusive card for Moon Bar. From now on, when you bring girls to spend money there, all drinks are free. And to celebrate your admission to university, I will give you 90% of the shares of this bar. From now on, you will be the boss. Gao Xiaoqin opened her eyes slightly after hearing this. Arsheng, you are quite generous. I heard that the Moon Bar has an annual revenue of tens of millions. You are willing to spend that much. You have become rich in recent years, right? Gao Chisheng shook the red wine glass in his hand. Big sister, please don't insult me. How can my small family and business compare to your and big brother's hundreds of billions of wealth? Go away, stop crying poor to me. We have given you so much in the past few years just from the matching business of Shanshui Group. By the way, how is Ding Chen Qingxuan doing when I sent him to study foreign languages last time? Oh, don't mention it. This old guy has too many problems. He hasn't learned many foreign languages. He has changed foreign teachers several times. That's because you didn't serve me well. The two began to argue. Gao Chiqiang and Chen Shooting seemed to be used to it and ignored them and started eating. Liu Ruyan was holding a bottle of Romanée Conti red wine and serving with her head down. Gao Yang glanced at Liu Ruyan, who was working hard for money, and couldn't help but find it a little funny. At this time, Gao Yang heard a system prompt in his mind. Ding, a beautiful girl has appeared. Name, Liu Ruyan. Age, 20. Measurements, 61, 42, 68. Number of sockets used, 0. The system has bound this girl. Interact with her more to get corresponding props rewards. Oh? It's bound. This was somewhat beyond Gao Yang's expectations. Although he was somewhat disgusted by Liu Ruyan's materialistic character, he didn't mind playing with her. It would be best to tease her a little and let her know the dangers of society. I remember a guru who was good at picking up girls once said, if you meet a good girl, don't miss her, and if you meet a bad girl, don't let her go. Then, Gao Yang deliberately hugged her slender waist, which frightened Liu Ruyan. Young Master Yang, are you drunk? I'll help you get some rest. There is a saying that goes, when you are drunk, the one who can give you a hand is a brother, and the one who can give you a few more hands is a woman. Gao Yang did not refuse and let Liu Ruyan support him and walk into the bedroom. After lying on the soft big bed in the bedroom, Gao Yang looked Liu Ruyan up and down and asked lazily. Xiao Liu, how old are you this year? Liu Ruyan lowered her head shyly and said in a slightly clipped tone. Young Master Yang, I just turned 18 this year tilde. Gao Yang almost spit out the sobering tea he had just taken, thinking. If I hadn't just checked your information, I would have really fooled you. It turns out that Zhang Wuji's mother's famous saying was right, the more beautiful a woman is, the more likely she is to lie. Gao Yang took out a tissue and wiped the corner of his mouth. Ahem, who is Xiao Liu? I heard that you learned dancing before. Can you dance for me? When Liu Ruyan heard this, she immediately refused with righteous words. Young Master Yang, what are you talking about? I am a decent person with moral bottom line. Gao Yang took out a bank card and slapped it on the table. Oh? Really? Then can you be more flexible with your moral bottom line? Chapter 5, Reward, a Kawasaki Ninja H2R. Ding, Liu Ruyan's favorability plus 20, current favorability, 20. P.S. The favorability level is divided into 0 is no favor, 2040 is a primary liquor, 4080 is an intermediate liquor, 8090 is a high-level liquor, and above 90 is the ultimate liquor. The favorability reaches 100 and is the king of liquors, who are willing to make any sacrifice for the host and will make up for anything the host does. Seeing the black card worth tens of millions on the table, Liu Ruyan's eyes almost popped out. She quickly bowed and said in a more hushed voice, Private Masse. Young Master Yang, actually my moral bottom line has always been very flexible. Whatever dance you want to see, whether it's jazz, classical, or Latin, I'm good at it. Gao Yang raised his lips. These are too vulgar, let's try something elegant. Do you know how to pole dance? His tilde. Liu Ruyan took a breath of cold air. Oh, this dance is a bit difficult. Gao Yang had a playful expression on his face, fiddling with the black card and said, Is it difficult? If it's difficult, then don't do it. Get out. No, no, no. Young Master Yang, let me think of a way to find some props or something. After saying that, Liu Ruyan actually started looking for a steel pipe in the house. Okay, I'm just joking with you, don't really jump, or else this novel might be banned again. Gao Yang quickly stopped Liu Ruyan's extraordinary behavior. However, he decided to take advantage of her materialistic character and tease her in a different way. Thinking of the system's built-in rebate function, Gao Yang suddenly had an idea. Ruyan, where do you usually go shopping? Shopping. Liu Ruyan scratched her head and thought. I usually like to go to Global Harbor Shopping Center with my girlfriends, but the things there are too expensive. Gao Yang knew that Global Harbor was the most upscale shopping mall in Jinghai. Gao Yang also knows that there are 70 ways to coax a girl, one is shopping, and the remaining are 69. Oh, I have some time today, why don't you go shopping with me? When Liu Ruyan heard this, she immediately started to imagine. Gao Yang actually wants me to go shopping with him. Could he be interested in me? I can't be wrong. With my peerless beauty and sexy figure, any man would fall for me. No, I have to hold onto this thigh tightly and then make a lot of money from him. Liu Ruyan was so excited that she couldn't close her legs as she imagined swiping Gao Yang's card and going on a shopping spree. She couldn't wait to ask. No problem, young Master Yang, I'm available anytime. How do we get there? Gao Yang asked the system in his heart. Zhao, I am a rich young man, so I can't go out in a bad way, right? Zhao's lovely figure appeared in front of Gao Yang. Of course, the host currently has a random vehicle card, would you like to use it? Use. Gao Yang did not hesitate. Congratulations to the host for winning a Kawasaki Ninja H2R. It is parked in the underground garage and can be used at any time. Kawasaki H2R. Real or fake? Gao Yang was so excited that he almost jumped up. You know, he was an out-and-out motorcycle enthusiast in his previous life. He was quite obsessed with the sound of motorcycle engines and liked to ride on the streets with his motorcycle friends when he had nothing to do. However, since the price of this motorcycle is so high, the full price is nearly 800,000 yuan, so Gao Yang can only think about it. I didn't expect that after living a new life, I would get the motorcycle of my dreams at the very beginning. Although Gao Yang knew that he would definitely not be short of money in the future and could easily buy top sports cars like Lamborghini and Ferrari, the weight of this motorcycle in Gao Yang's heart was different. Come on, accompany me to the underground garage. Gao Yang put on his coat and took the elevator inside the villa directly to the underground garage on the second floor below ground. As soon as the elevator door opened, Gao Yang was dazzled by the dazzling array of luxury cars in the garage. All I saw were top luxury cars such as Rolls-Royce, Bentley, Aston Martin, etc. neatly arranged, like a static luxury car show. There is a faint smell of motor oil in the air, which is the smell of men. Wow, Dad has quite a collection. Gao Yang exclaimed in amazement. It can be seen that Gao Chichang is also a car lover. Of course, probably because he was meeting clients, most of the cars he drove were high-end business models, and there were relatively few sports cars. And in the deepest part of the garage, a dark black Kawasaki Ninja H2R was quietly waiting for its owner. Wow, this motorcycle is so cool. Liu Ruyan was already attracted by it and started taking selfies crazily with her phone. The exterior design of this Kawasaki Ninja H2R is full of technology and power. The streamlined body lines are like a cheetah in the wind, agile and swift. On the front part of the car, the sharp headlights are like the eyes of a beast, bright and lively. The overall design is simple yet domineering, giving people a strong visual impact. Do you think this car is very special? Is it very good? Gao Yang said to himself. You are so amazing, young Master Yang, you even know this. Liu Ruyan immediately raised her hands and started to flatter Gao Yang. Moreover, Gao Yang discovered that the suspension and braking systems of this Kawasaki H2R have also been carefully tuned to maintain stable handling when driving at high speeds. Gao Yang stroked the cold metal surface of the locomotive. This car is tailor-made for me. Gao Yang was secretly excited. He couldn't wait to ride it and feel the thrill of speed. After saying that, Gao Yang got on and patted the back seat of the motorcycle. Get in the car. Chapter 6. Poor people play with cars, rich people play with watches. Oh, okay. Liu Ruyan was stunned for a moment, then she rode on him with a red face and hugged Gao Yang's waist tightly. Hold on tight, we're about to set off. Gao Yang adjusted his posture and gently twisted the accelerator. The Kawasaki Ninja H2R was like an awakened beast, and the low and powerful roar echoed in the garage. Then the garage door slowly opened, and a dazzling light shone in. Gao Yang narrowed his eyes slightly, and after adjusting for a moment, he drove the motorcycle out of the garage. Liu Ruyan pressed tightly against Gao Yang's back, feeling the sound of the wind whistling past her ears. Her heart beat faster as if it was about to jump out of her chest. Young Master Yang, you are so bad. I like it so much. Ding, Liu Ruyan's intimacy plus 20, current intimacy, 40. It was the first time for Liu Ruyan to ride in such a fast car. She was so excited that she almost died. Soon, the two arrived at the Global Harbor Shopping Center. Global Harbor is located in the core area of Jinghai City. It is a comprehensive commercial giant integrating shopping, dining and entertainment. At this time, Gao Yang heard a system voice in his mind. Ding, congratulations to their host for obtaining the unlimited rebate function. Any consumption made by their host will be returned at a random multiple, ensuring that the host will have more money the more he spends. And every cent of the rebate received by the host will be deducted from the account of the evil capitalists in the eagle source country or the island country. The more rebates the host receives, the more capitalists will go bankrupt and jump off the building. Nice. Cool, I like this. Gao Yang couldn't help but applaud. Although he has a great family background and is not short of money, who can complain about having too much money? At most, he can give hundreds of millions to those handsome guys who had bookshelves. Let's go in and take a look. Gao Yang walked into Global Harbor with his head held high. Inside the mall, luxury stores were lined up one after another. Each store was magnificently decorated, and their windows displayed the latest bags, watches, jewelry and other luxury goods. The shop assistants are dressed in neat uniforms, greet every customer who enters the store with a smile, and provide them with professional services and advice. Young Master Yang, what do you want to buy? Gao Yang looked around at the dazzling array of luxury stores. In fact, he had not decided what to buy, but he had one principle: only buy the right ones, not the expensive ones. After all, according to the system's rebate rules, the larger the consumption base, the greater the rebate amount will be. Suddenly, Gao Yang's eyes fell on the most conspicuous Patek Philippe store not far away. Gao Yang looked at his empty wrist and thought to himself. Oh, by the way, I'm just short of a watch. Let's go in and take a look. It is said that poor people play with cars, rich people play with watches, and old cows like to eat young grass. This statement is absolutely true. For those nouveau riche or second-generation rich who have just accumulated initial capital, their initial consumption is nothing more than buying a sports car, hanging a big gold chain around their neck, or wearing a whole set of brand-name clothes like Versace to show off. The more cultured upper-class people are often free from these vulgar tastes, and buying a watch that suits their status is their best choice. Because a limited edition luxury watch can easily cost hundreds of millions or even tens of millions, and it is quite valuable. So one of Patek Philippe's most famous slogans is, "You can never truly own a Patek Philippe, you can only keep it for your descendants." Young Master Yan, are you looking to buy a watch? I just bought a watch last year. Liu Ruyan held up a Longines watch on her wrist with some pride. Gao Yang suspected that Liu Ruyan was scolding him, but he had no evidence. Next, Gao Yang bought a luxury version of the Nautilus 5980 Platinum, an original diamond watch from Patek Philippe. It is limited to only 100 pieces worldwide and is priced at 5 million. Young Master Yan, are you just buying this watch? What else? Gao Yang looked at Liu Ruyan in confusion, not understanding what she meant. I mean, this is 5 million. You spent it without blinking an eye. Liu Ruyan secretly counted on her fingers, trying to figure out how many lifetimes it would take her to earn that much money. It's just a small amount of money, don't act like an inexperienced person, okay? After Gao Yang finished speaking, he quickly took 2 steps back. He suspected that if it wasn't in public, Liu Ruyan might have pounced on him and eaten him alive. Oh, okay. Liu Ruyan slightly clamped her beautiful black silk legs together, looking at Gao Yang with shining eyes, her envious saliva flowing from her legs involuntarily. At this time, Gao Yang heard the system prompt again in his mind. Ding, congratulations to their host for successfully spending 5 million. The random rebate of 10 times has been received, please check it carefully. Congratulations to their host for successfully spending the first amount. Reward the host with the skill of agile tongue tip. Special note, this skill can optimize and strengthen every cell of the host's tongue tip, making it more flexible and more powerful. At the same time, Gao Yang's mobile phone also received a message. Your ICBC account with the last number 5865 received a remittance of 50 million yuan, and the balance is 55 million. Oh my god, 50 million. Chapter 7 wrap up the most expensive one. Now Gao Yang was a little uneasy. He just spent 5 million and immediately made another 50 million. What a crazy operation. Gao Yang now understands Wang Duiu's pain a little bit. Who can bear spending more and more money? Alas, who can understand the troubles of rich people? If possible, Gao Yang even planned to randomly select a few handsome guys in front of the screen and give him 1 million each. Then Gao Yang put away his phone and saw Liu Ruyan beside him, blinking her big, Kazalan eyes and staring at him motionlessly. Gao Yang knew women like Liu Ruyan very well. As soon as she raised her butt, he knew what she was going to fart. Gao Yang waved his hand. Let's go to other stores and buy you a few bags. As soon as Gao Yang finished speaking, Liu Ruyan's eyes lit up immediately. She excitedly grabbed Gao Yang's arm and jumped beside him like a happy little rabbit. Really? Young Master Yang, are you really going to buy me a bag? How can I do that? Liu Ruyan pretended to be embarrassed. TSK, this woman, she is a whore but she still wants to be a virtuous woman, why? Gao Yang couldn't help but roll his eyes. So he took Liu Ruyan into an LV store. As soon as the clerk saw Gao Yang and Liu Ruyan come in, he immediately greeted them warmly. The cliched plot of the salesperson looking down on the customer, then mocking him and getting slapped in the face did not happen. Because the salespeople in luxury stores like these have all undergone rigorous training, and even if they look down on customers, they won't show it easily, and they manage their facial expressions very well. Of course, this was also related to the expensive haute couture that Gao Yang was wearing. After the Gao family became rich, Chen Shooting specifically found a century-old tailor shop in Italy to be responsible for customizing all the clothes for the Gao family. The amount spent on clothing alone is no less than 7 figures each year. So the shop assistants could tell at a glance that Gao Yang was a rich man. Welcome, sir, how can I help you? Gao Yang pointed at Liu Ruyan and said. Pick out some of the latest bags for this beautiful lady. They must be the most expensive ones. When the waiter heard this, he immediately became excited. This is a big customer. He nodded and said. Yes, sir, I will go and pick it for you right away. After a while, the waiter came over with several of the latest models of bags and showed them to Liu Ruyan one by one. Liu Ruyan's eyes lit up immediately. She picked up a small pink shoulder bag and looked at it carefully, muttering. This color is so pretty, it suits me so well. Gao Yang looked at her with some disdain in his heart. Nonsense, which bag here do you think is not suitable? At this time, the waiter picked up a black bag and said, "Miss, this Millionaire Speedy handbag is this year's limited edition. It is made entirely of crocodile leather and decorated with diamonds. There are only 100 in the world. It is very precious." When Liu Ruyan heard this, her eyes widened immediately. She snatched the bag and held it in her arms as if she was holding a treasure. "Wow, this one is even better. Young Master Yang, I want this one," she shouted excitedly. "No problem, buy it." After Gao Yang finished speaking, he tore off the label on the bag and put it on Liu Ruyan's shoulder. Ding, Liu Ruyan's favorability plus 20, current favorability, 80, has been promoted to a high-level bootlicker, and is rewarded with a top driving skill card. That's not all. Gao Yang picked out several more expensive clothes and bags for her, successfully raising her favorability to 95, making her Gao Yang's ultimate bootlicker. However, Liu Ruyan had no idea of the seriousness of the matter and was still happily taking pictures in front of the mirror to show off her beauty. Suddenly, Gao Yang covered his stomach and said with a grin, "Ruyan, I suddenly feel a little upset. I need to go to the toilet first." Go ahead, go ahead." Liu Ruyan responded casually without any doubt, still immersed in her dream of becoming a wealthy woman overnight. 15 minutes later, the clerk walked up to her and asked politely, "You've almost finished your selection. Would you like to pay first?" Only then did Liu Ruyan come back to her senses. "Huh? Where is Gao Yang?" She took out her cell phone and wanted to call Gao Yang, but found that she didn't have his contact information at all. But after all, the favorability has reached 95. Even though she has already anticipated that Gao Yang has played a trick on her, Liu Ruyan still makes up excuses for him. "Impossible, why would young Master Yang abandon me? Did something happen to him?" Liu Ruyan was about to go out to look for Gao Yang, but was stopped by the clerk. "Miss, you took off all the labels on your bag. You can't run away like this. Here's the bill. It's 2.5 million in total. Please pay." Chapter 8 Boy, Haven T. I seen you before. When Liu Ruyan heard this number, she almost fainted on the spot. She stared at the bill in the clerk's hand with wide eyes in disbelief, took it with trembling hands, and felt dizzy. 2.5 million. How can it be so much? Liu Ruyan exclaimed, her heart filled with despair. The clerk explained expressionlessly. "These are the items you just picked out: crocodile leather handbags, diamond earrings, limited edition dresses. Each one is priceless, and together they add up to this amount." Liu Ruyan felt like her heart was about to jump out. How could she have so much money? I don't have so much money, you are robbing me," she shouted in panic. The clerk remained unmoved and said calmly, "If you can't pay, then we'll have to call the police." When Liu Ruyan heard that they were going to call the police, she turned pale with fright, her eyes rolled back and she fainted. On the other hand, Gao Yang, holding a cup of milk tea, slowly walked out of the mall. That's right, the reason why he found an excuse to slip away was to let Liu Ruyan experience the dangers of the world. I guess after this lesson, she will think twice before trying to climb up the social ladder and hook up with rich men. When Gao Yang arrived at the parking lot, he found a sexy female anchor holding a mobile phone and talking to herself excitedly in front of his Kawasaki Ninja H2R. Apparently she was broadcasting live. The female anchor is named Lin Wanner, a small internet celebrity with more than 100,000 fans on the Huyu live streaming platform. Lin Wanner had long black hair draped softly over her shoulders, her facial features were delicate and picturesque, her nose was high, her lips were rosy, and when she smiled she revealed two charming dimples that made people fall in love with her. Her figure is even more proud. A pair of tight jeans outlines her perfect curves to the fullest. Her towering breasts, slender waist, and long and straight legs all exude sexy charm. Especially when she bent down to check the details of the Kawasaki Ninja H2R, her slender waist and plump hip curves were eye-catching. At this moment, she was squatting in front of Gao Yang's Kawasaki Ninja H2R motorcycle, introducing this valuable super motorcycle with her sweet voice. "Oh my god, fans, did you see that? This motorcycle is the Kawasaki Ninja H2R, a global limited edition. I actually saw it here." As Lin Wanner spoke, she gently stroked the body of the motorcycle. Ding, a beautiful girl has been detected. Lin Wanner, beauty score, 87, has been bound to their host. Interact with her more to trigger random tasks and get rewards. At this time, a virtual screen appeared in front of Gao Yang, with various values on it, similar to the attribute panel in the game. Name, Gao Yang. Age, 19. Height, 182 centimeters. Strength, 5. Speed, 5. Constitution, for kidney deficiency. Note, the average value for adult men is 7, the limit is 10. Number of times the plug has been used, 0. Seeing this, Gao Yang was somewhat dissatisfied. That's not right, Zhao. Why is the quality of my body so poor? Hurry up and help me regain my strength. Ding, reward the host with 20 attribute points, which can be used to enhance physical fitness. That's about right. Increase strength and speed by 10 points each. Ding, strengthening successful. As Zhao's reminder sounded, Gao Yang felt a tremendous force surging from his limbs and bones, as if his entire body was filled with this power. Gao Yang couldn't help but let out a comfortable moan. He subconsciously clenched his fists, feeling an unprecedented sense of power, as if he could punch through a thick steel plate with one punch. Har har, is this what it feels like after being strengthened? Gao Yang shouted excitedly and punched the wall next to him. With a crack, a big hole was punched in the solid wall. Har har har, not bad, not bad. Gao Yang nodded with satisfaction. His strength and speed had already exceeded the limits of human beings. Now, it should be no problem for him to deal with a dozen special forces soldiers. Gao Yang smiled with satisfaction and walked over. My beautiful lady, it seems that you are very interested in my car. He joked. When Lin Meng heard the voice, he looked up and a hint of surprise flashed in his eyes. She didn't expect that the owner of the car would suddenly appear, and he was such a handsome boy. Yes, this Kawasaki Ninja H2R is so cool, I have always liked it. She said a little shyly. Since you like it, why not try riding it? Gao Yang suggested. When Lin Meng heard this, a hint of surprise flashed in her eyes, but then she hesitated. Is this okay? I don't dare to ride it. It's okay, I can give you a ride. Gao Yang said as he walked over, helped her put on the helmet, and then helped her onto the motorcycle. He then silently said in his heart. System, I want to use that top-level car skill card. Ding, the operation was successful. Congratulations to their host for becoming an experienced driver. You are the old driver, your whole family is old drivers. As the system prompt sounded, Gao Yang suddenly felt a strange power surging into his body, as if he had become one with the Kawasaki Ninja H2R motorcycle. He could clearly perceive every detail of the vehicle, from the slight vibration of the engine to the subtle friction between the tires and the ground, as if forming a clear picture in his mind. Not only that, he can also control the motorcycle as he pleases, whether it is accelerating, decelerating, turning or braking, it all becomes easy. He gently turned the accelerator, and the Kawasaki Ninja H2R rushed out of the parking lot like a flash of lightning. Lin Wanner only felt a gust of wind blowing, and she was already speeding on the road. Wow! That's so cool! The lightning speed made her scream, but she was soon impressed by Gao Yang's steady driving skills. Ding, Lin Wanner's favorability plus 20, current favorability, 20. She hugged Gao Yang's waist tightly, feeling the sound of the wind whistling past her ears. Her mood gushed out like a fountain and her body was filled with stimulation. Soon, Gao Yang drove the Kawasaki H2R to a winding mountain road in the suburbs of Jinghai City. This place is usually deserted and has little traffic, so it is a racing paradise for many motorcycle enthusiasts. Just as Gao Yang and Lin Wanner were enjoying the thrill of driving on the mountain road, the roar of an engine suddenly came from the distance. Gao Yang frowned slightly and saw through the rearview mirror that a group of young people on various types of motorcycles were approaching rapidly. These young men were wearing tight leather jackets, cool helmets, and had provocative smiles on their faces. They were obviously a group of speeding gangs. It seems like we have encountered a group of uninvited guests. Sure enough, when this group of people saw Gao Yang and Lin Wanner, they immediately accelerated and rushed over, surrounding them. Hey, stop! The young man in the lead took off his sunglasses, revealing an arrogant face. He looked at Gao Yang's Kawasaki Ninja H2R, and a hint of jealousy flashed in his eyes. Hey, nice car, huh? Boy, I don't think I've seen you before. He asked provocatively. Why, this road was built by your family. Do I have to report to you before I come here? Gao Yang didn't indulge him at all. Fuck you. How can I talk to Brother Cohen? There was a guy with dyed yellow hair who was about to rush up to fight, but he was stopped by the young man named Brother Cohen. You have a unique personality. I like it. Let's get to know each other. My name is Shu Cohen. How about we go for a race? Gao Yang smiled slightly and responded calmly. Sorry, I'm not interested in playing with you. I just brought my friends here to relax today. Har har har, relax. Bring a girl to our territory to relax? What do you think we are? Air. That's right, don't think you're great just because you ride a nice bike. Here, you have to rely on your strength. Someone else echoed. Seeing this, Lin Wana nervously grabbed the corner of Gao Yang's clothes and whispered. Brother Gao Yang, let's go. These people are not good people. It's better not to conflict with them. At this time, Wang Mao saw Lin Wana and walked forward with a lewd smile on his face. Hey, this girl is pretty, buddy, since you don't dare to drive fast, let her stay with us and play with us. Chapter 9. If you have the guts, just wait for me. As the yellow-haired man spoke, he reached out to touch Lin Wana's face. A hint of coldness flashed in Gao Yang's eyes. He grabbed the yellow-haired man's wrist, kicked him in the waist, and then swung him hard, sending him flying. Bang! Wang Mao fell to the ground, groaning in pain. Ouch, my kidney! How dare you do that to me? Seeing this, Shu Kuan's face darkened. He didn't expect Gao Yang to dare to fight back. Fight? Don't you see who started it first? If you dare to be rude again, don't blame me for being rude. Gao Yang said coldly. Shu Kuan and others were shocked by Gao Yang's momentum, and for a moment no one dared to step forward. Brother Cohen, this kid is too arrogant, we have to teach him a lesson. The yellow-haired man got up from the ground, rubbed his painful wrist, and said viciously. Don't worry, there are so many of us, are we afraid of him? We have to find a suitable way to teach him a lesson. Shu Kuan's eyes flashed with viciousness. He glanced at the surrounding racers and came up with an idea. Boy, aren't you very cool? How about we have a competition? The loser not only has to keep the car, but also has to keep this girl with us for one night. Shu Kuan pointed at Lin Wana and said. Gao Yang raised his eyebrows when he heard this and asked. What if you lose? Shu Kuan looked disdainful. Will I lose? I've been racing on this track for 5 years. If I lose, I'll kowtow to you 3 times right here and then quit racing. Okay, it's a deal. Gao Yang rode on the Kawasaki H2R. Lin Wana nervously grabbed the corner of his clothes and asked worriedly. Brother Gao Yang, do you really want to compete with them? Don't worry, just wait for me here. I can't lose. Gao Yang gave her a comforting smile, then put on his helmet and prepared to start the race. On the track, the atmosphere suddenly became tense. The Dongmingshan racetrack is a winding mountain road with lush trees on both sides. Occasionally, you can see mountain streams and waterfalls. Although this road is not a professional racing venue, it is an excellent competition venue for these speed racers. Shu Kuan was riding a modified BMW RR. The blue and white body of the car looked extremely dazzling in the sun. He wore a pair of black sunglasses and had a smug smile on his face, as if he had already secured victory. Boy, I'll show you what speed is in a moment. Shu Kuan shouted loudly, and the BMW RR rushed out like an arrow from a bow, disappearing from everyone's sight in an instant. Oh. Gao Yang rode lazily on the Kawasaki H2R, yawned, and seemed not to take the competition seriously at all. On your marks, get set go. Following the order, Shu Kuan rushed out like an arrow from a bow, his BMW twin are speeding on the mountain road, stirring up a cloud of dust. Gao Yang was not in a hurry to catch up. He maintained a steady speed, observing the road conditions ahead and Shu Kuan's movements. Soon, Shu Kuan left the others far behind. He looked back at Gao Yang proudly, but found that Gao Yang was still following him slowly. Boy, is this all you can do? Don't let me down. Shu Kuan laughed loudly. Gao Yang did not respond, and then increased the speed. The Kawasaki H2R passed through the mountain road like a flash of lightning, quickly closing the distance with Shu Kuan. His tilde. Shu Kuan felt the threat from Gao Yang, so he stepped on the accelerator and tried to create some distance. However, Gao Yang's Kawasaki H2R had excellent performance and was extremely fast, so he quickly caught up. The two of them were running neck and neck, and it was difficult to tell who was better. Shukuan was anxious. He didn't expect Gao Yang to be so difficult to deal with. He kept changing lanes and speeds, trying to find Gao Yang's flaws. However, Gao Yang seemed to be at ease. He responded to Shukuan's movements easily, while also looking for opportunities to overtake. Finally, at a bend, Gao Yang saw an opportunity. He stepped on the accelerator suddenly, and with a whoosh, the Kawasaki H2R rushed out like a tiger and instantly surpassed Shukuan. Shukuan was shocked. He didn't expect Gao Yang to surpass him in such a place. He desperately stepped on the accelerator, trying to catch up, but it was too late. Gao Yang ran farther and farther, and finally crossed the finish line steadily. Wow! Brother Gao Yang is awesome. Lin Wana jumped up excitedly. Ding, Lin Wana's favorability plus 20, current favorability, 40. He took off his helmet, stared into Shukuan's eyes and said, "You lose, keep your promise." Shukuan's face turned pale and blue. He never thought that he would lose to a new guy. The match just now doesn't count. I was careless. Let's play again if you dare. Gao Yang smiled coldly. He had long seen through Shukuan's character and was sure that he would cheat. Okay, kowtow to me 3 times first, then I'll compete with you. You're looking for death. Shukuan was enraged by Gao Yang's words. He rushed forward and punched Gao Yang in the face. Gao Yang was prepared. He dodged Shukuan's attack and then punched him hard on the chin. Ouch! Shukuan screamed and fell backwards, with one of his front teeth flying out along with blood. He covered his chin, tears streaming down his face in pain. He didn't expect Gao Yang to be so powerful that he couldn't even take a punch. Mad, you, how dare you hit me? Do you know who I am? Shukuan roared with snot and tears, like a shrew scolding on the street. Gao Yang looked at Shukuan coldly, his eyes full of disdain. If you lose the bet, don't act like a bitch. Now, kneel down and kowtow to me. What are you guys standing there for? Come on. Shukuan yelled at his younger brothers. The yellow-haired guy standing in the front reacted the fastest. He immediately squatted down and covered his stomach with a painful expression. Oh no, Brother Kuan, my uncle is coming. It hurts so much. When the other drag racers saw how good Gao Yang was at fighting, their feet felt like they were stuck with glue and they dared not move. A bunch of useless people. You, just wait for me. There was a gleam of ruthlessness in Shukuan's eyes. He stared at Gao Yang viciously, then took out his cell phone from his pocket and dialed a number. Hey, cousin, I've been bullied in Dongming Mountain. Hurry up and bring people over to help me. Shukuan said through gritted teeth. A gloomy voice came from the other end of the phone. Who dares to bully you? Are you so bold? Send me the address and I'll be there right away. Shukuan hung up the phone, stared at Gao Yang fiercely and said, Stop them. My cousin will be here soon. When Huang Mao heard this, his stomach pain immediately stopped and he stepped forward and asked flatteringly, Brother Kuan, is Brother Bao coming? Shukuan glared at him with disdain, but still nodded. Huang Mao immediately straightened his back, pointed at Gao Yang's nose and said arrogantly, You're done for. Brother Bao is the leader of our East City area. Last year, someone offended him and he was directly turned into a concrete pillar. You, wait for death. Chapter 10 There are so many people outside, I kneel down for you. Gao Yang sneered. He didn't even want to leave. Okay, I want to see how powerful this so-called cousin of yours is. Not long after, a black Mercedes-Benz sedan came speeding and stopped at the entrance of the racetrack, followed by a Wuling Hongguang van. The car door opened and a burly man with a fleshy face walked down. He was Shukuan's cousin, Li Bao, also known as Mad Dog. Then the door of the Wuling Hongguang opened, and thugs with sticks jumped down one after another, 1, 2, 3. There were more than 20 people in total. Fuck, this car can hold so many people. The large crowd of thugs intimidated the young people present. When Li Bao and others arrived, the atmosphere in the entire racing field became tense. He. Li Bao didn't take this group of young people seriously at all. He spat, pulled up his loose belt, walked to Shukuan, patted him on the shoulder and asked. A Kuan, who bullied you? Shukuan pointed at Gao Yang and said. It's him, the new guy, who actually dared to hit me. Li Bao turned his gaze towards Gao Yang, his eyes full of cruelty. Son thief, you are so brave that you dare to touch my cousin. Gao Yang met Li Bao's gaze without fear and said calmly. He was the one who cheated first. I just taught him a lesson. Teach a lesson? You are so stupid as to teach my cousin a lesson? Get down on your knees and admit your mistake, or I will destroy you today. Li Bao shouted loudly. The racers around held their breath. They knew that today's incident was going to get serious. However, Gao Yang didn't care at all. He sneered and said. You want me to kneel down, are you worthy? After saying that, he took a big step forward and rushed towards Li Bao like a flash of lightning. Li Bao didn't expect Gao Yang to dare to take the initiative to attack. He was stunned for a moment, then reacted quickly and swung his fist to meet him. The two men's fists collided fiercely in the air, making a dull sound. Li Bao only felt a huge force coming, and his fist was actually shaken away by Gao Yang. He was shocked. He didn't expect Gao Yang's power to be so great. However, Gao Yang did not give him a chance to breathe. He kicked Li Bao directly in the stomach. Ouch! Li Bao screamed, fell backwards and fell to the ground. Brother Gao Yang is so handsome. At this moment, Lin Wana looked at Gao Yang with eyes full of little stars. Ding, Lin Wana's favorability plus 20, current favorability, 60. The people around were stunned when they saw this. They didn't expect Gao Yang to be so powerful. Even the gangster Li Bao was no match for him. Shukuan was so frightened that his face turned pale. He didn't expect that the cousin he called over couldn't beat Gao Yang. Cousin, are you okay? Shukuan quickly ran over and helped Li Bao up and asked. Li Bao held his stomach and groaned in pain. He fiercely ordered the thugs he brought with him. Kill him for me. Seeing this, Li Bao's brothers drew out their machetes and baseball bats and surrounded Gao Yang. Let me see who dares to take action. The next second, a silver-grey Bentley drove slowly over, followed by 7 or 8 imported Audi A6s. The car window rolled down, revealing a gloomy face wearing gold-rimmed sunglasses. It was Gao Yang's second uncle Gao Chishin. Gao Chishin glanced at the crowd and soon landed on Gao Yang. He slowly got out of the car, looked around and asked. Who is so bold? Who dares to touch my nephew? Hearing this voice, the originally arrogant Li Bao, Shukuan and others suddenly turned pale with fright. Gao, boss Gao. Li Bao naturally knew Gao Chishin and knew that he was the real underground emperor of Jinghai City and no one dared to offend him. Shukuan was so frightened that he was shaking all over, knowing that he had hit a wall today. Gao Chishin's appearance made the originally noisy racing field quiet down instantly. Everyone widened their eyes and looked at this legendary boss in disbelief. Yang, what's going on? Gao Chishin asked in a deep voice. It turned out that when Shukuan called someone, Gao Yang also sent a text message to Gao Chishin. Gao Yang briefly explained what happened. After Gao Chishin finished listening, he turned his gaze to Li Bao and others, with a murderous look in his eyes. You are so brave that you even dare to touch my nephew. Gao Chishin said coldly. When Li Bao saw Gao Chishin appear, his heart suddenly sank. He knew how powerful Gao Chishin was in Jinghai City and he was no match for him at all. Mr. Gao, it's a misunderstanding. This is all a misunderstanding. Li Bao stuttered. However, Gao Chishin didn't listen to his explanation at all. He waved his hand, and the men behind him immediately understood and stepped forward to control Li Bao and others. Yang, how do you want to deal with them? Gao Chishin asked. Gao Yang glanced at Li Bao, Shukuan and others, and said calmly. It's up to you, uncle. Gao Chishin nodded. He had always been very protective of his beloved nephew, so he instructed his men. Take this guy away and treat him well according to the rules. The men immediately took action and grabbed Li Bao and others and took them away. Li Bao begged for mercy with a broken heart. Have mercy, Mr. Gao. Have you forgotten that I once treated you to a meal? Shukuan was so frightened that he trembled all over and fell to his knees with a plop. I was wrong, Brother Yang. There were so many people outside just now. I knelt down in front of you. I was blind and didn't recognize you. Please forgive me. Seeing Shukuan's weak appearance, Gao Yang just found it funny. Kuan, I still like your rebellious look just now. Please recover. When Shukuan heard this, he almost cried. He was really scared now. The man in front of him was the real boss of Jinghai City. If he really angered him, he might not even know how he died. He quickly got up, forced a smile that was uglier than crying, and said, Brother Yang, please stop joking with me. How dare I do that? Please be magnanimous and just let me go. When Gao Yang heard this, he couldn't help laughing out loud. He glanced at Gao Chishing next to him, and saw Gao Chishing also looking at Shukuan with a playful look on his face. It was obvious that he was also amused by Shukuan's cowardly look, so he deliberately frightened him. I heard this guy is a sea king. Then just throw him into the sea to feed the fish. Suddenly, a dirty liquid flowed out from Shukuan's trouser legs, and he kicked his legs and fainted. Gao Chishin was too lazy to pay attention to him. Instead, he patted Gao Yang on the shoulder and pointed at Lin Wanner next to him. Yang, that's your girlfriend, right? She's pretty. Take her to Moon Bar tonight. I'll say hello to the store. Chapter 11 Don't get involved, I'm a Sigma man. When Lin Wanner heard Gao Chishin call her that, her face turned red and she secretly glanced at Gao Yang. Gao Yang was also somewhat helpless. He touched his nose and said, Uncle, stop joking. We just met. Oh? Is that so? Then you better act quickly, your girlfriend is so beautiful, be careful that she might be kidnapped. Lin Wanner's face turned red when she heard this. She took out her phone and took a look. Oh no, it's curfew at 10 o'clock. If I come home late, my dad will break my legs. Gao Yang was surprised. I can't tell that you have strict parents. Lin Wanner made a bitter face and nodded. Yeah, my dad is super fierce and he controls me very strictly. He even doesn't allow me to have a relationship. Really? Gao Yang couldn't see this at all, because Lin Wanner gave him the impression of a rebellious girl who liked to try new things. He didn't expect that she was such a good girl in front of her family. Maybe this is what is called contrast. Then I'll take you back first. Gao Yang got on the motorcycle and patted the back seat. Lin Wanner sat on it obediently and put her arms around Gao Yang's waist. Gao Chishin, who was standing next to him, smiled like an auntie, took out his phone and secretly took a photo, which he sent to their Love and Dear Gao group. Gao Lauer, picture.jpg. Fresh big melon. Come and try it. Gao Xiaofeng. Wow, Xiao Yang is in love. Arshing, you should tell him to take care of his health. Gao Xiaolan. No way, I just finished revising my paper and was about to go to bed, and you gave me such a big surprise. Gao Xiaoqin. Yangzi has good taste, his girlfriend is pretty. Mr. Gao. That's right, don't you see whose son it is? Sunder.jpg. Chen shooting. Gao Chichang, I gave you face, right? Oh. Gao Yang didn't know that in just a few minutes, he had already been disgraced in the family group. Gao Yang, who had no idea what was going on, put on his helmet and asked Lin Wanner. Where is your home? Yongjingwen Villa District. Oh? I didn't expect your family is quite rich. Gao Yang was a little surprised, because the people living there were all the richest people in Jinghai City, and their family also had a villa there. No, my dad just runs a small business. Lin Wanner's words made Gao Yang laugh. He thought, how could someone who can live in Yongjingwen Villa District be a small enterprise? This girl is quite low-key. He started the motorcycle and slowly drove towards the Yongjingwen Villa area. Their night in Jinghai City was ablaze with lights and a cool breeze blew gently, causing Lin Wanner's long hair to flutter. By the way, do you often come out to live stream alone? Gao Yang asked curiously. Lin Wanner smiled gently and said, No, actually I sneaked out. There was a dinner party at home tonight and I didn't want to attend it because I thought it was too boring. So I made an excuse to go out shopping and sneaked out. Har, it turns out you're still a girl who loves excitement. Gao Yang joked. Humph, I'm not a girl, I'm an adult. Lin Wanner pouted and retorted dissatisfiedly. The two chatted and laughed all their way and soon arrived at the young Jingwen Villa area. The environment here is elegant and shaded by green trees. Each villa is uniquely designed, appearing both luxurious and tasteful. Gao Yang parked his motorcycle at the entrance of the villa area, took off his helmet, and said to Lin Wana, "We're here, go in, don't keep your family waiting too long." Lin Wana jumped off the motorcycle, patted her skirt gently, then looked up at Gao Yang and said reluctantly, "Brother Gao Yang, thank you for sending me back. Can I add you on WeChat?" Gao Yang smiled slightly, nodded, took out his mobile phone and exchanged WeChat numbers with Lin Wana. "Okay, go in now. I should go back too." Gao Yang said this, got on his motorcycle and prepared to leave. Wait a minute. What's wrong?" Before Gao Yang could react, Lin Wana stood on tiptoe, gave Gao Yang a light kiss on the side of his face, and then ran away quickly. Ding, Lin Wana's favorability plus 20, current favorability, 80, successfully promoted to their host's high-level liquor. Gao Yang, who received the beautiful woman's sweet kiss, couldn't help but sigh. As expected, as long as a man is rich and handsome, he will never lack women. You haven't even started pursuing me yet, but you've already thrown yourself into my arms. However, Gao Yang has now transformed into a Sigma man and will not easily fall into a woman's trap. After thinking about it, Gao Yang stepped on the accelerator and drove towards the Moon Bar in the center of Jinghai City. Moon Bar is located in the bustling area of the center of Jinghai City. In the night, it is like a shining pearl, attracting countless souls seeking excitement and indulgence. Gao Yang drove his motorcycle through their bustling streets and could see the unique architectural outline of the bar from afar. The exterior of the bar adopts a design style that combines modern and retro elements. The glass curtain wall shines brightly under the neon lights, as if telling the prosperity and hustle and bustle of the city. As you walk into the bar, a strong smell of alcohol and perfume hits your nose, making you feel a little dizzy. The bartender in front of the bar shakes the wine glass skillfully to mix colorful cocktails. The guests around were either savoring their wine alone or gathering in groups of 3 or 5 to chat and laugh. Probably because Gao Chishing had given instructions in advance, several waiters had already lined up early, waiting for Gao Yang's arrival. As soon as Gao Yang walked into the bar, he immediately attracted the attention of many girls. Look, it's 9 o'clock. Wow, what a handsome boy. I really want to be romantic with him. I'll be more romantic and he'll be slower. This is not the kindergarten's car, let me get off. They carefully looked at Zhu Xing's young and handsome body, and wondered if his brother was as outstanding as he was in height. The waiters immediately came over, and the leading waiter had a smile on his face and said respectfully, "Young Master Yan, you are here. Mr. Gao has already arranged a seat for you. Please follow me." Gao Yang nodded slightly, followed the waiter through their bustling crowd, and came to the number 1 Supreme booth deep in the bar. This booth is located in the corner of the bar, in a secluded and distinguished position. It is surrounded by tall screens, forming a relatively independent space. The booth was furnished with soft sofas and an exquisite coffee table. On the table were several bottles of high-end foreign liquor and a few crystal-clear wine glasses. As soon as Gao Yang sat down, a waiter poured him wine. He gently shook the glass, admiring the amber liquid swirling in the glass. "Young Master Yan, what do you want to do tonight? Our bar has a variety of entertainment options. As long as you ask, we will do our best to satisfy you." The waiter stood aside and asked respectfully. Gao Yang heard this and a playful smile appeared on his lips. He put down his glass, glanced around the bar, and then said lightly, "Tonight, let's just have some fun. By the way, I heard there are so many beautiful girls at Moon Bar. Is that true? Chapter 12. Come, let us use some big dragons first." Gao Yang deliberately prolonged his tone, with a sly gleam in his eyes. When the waiter heard this, he immediately understood and an ambiguous smile appeared on his face. "Young Master Yan, you've asked the right person. The beauties in our bar are all carefully selected. They are not only outstanding in appearance, but also talented. I'll call a few people over for you right now to have a drink and chat with you." Then he snapped his fingers, and several girls dressed gorgeously and charmingly came over with their snake-like waists twisting. These girls were all dressed provocatively, with heavy makeup, and their eyes revealed a hint of provocation and seduction. Gao Yang was a little disappointed because the system did not provide any binding prompts and it was obvious that their appearance did not meet the requirements. But since I'm here, I'll just make do with it. After all, Gao Yang isn't a serious Herchui. He's not a casual person either. As soon as the girls saw Gao Yang, they surrounded him and started chattering with him. Handsome guy, are you alone? Do you want your sister to have a few drinks with you? Oh, little brother, you are so handsome. Is this your first time here? Let me check your body. Go away, ignore them, naughty brother, what do you think of your sister? I promise you will have a great time tonight. The girls were talking at once, and each of them wanted to get closer to Gao Yang, as if whoever got closer first would be able to win over this handsome sponsor. But you can't blame them. From the moment he came to Gao Yang, these hostesses had set their eyes on him. Not only did he look like a celebrity, but he was also very generous and directly booked booth number 1. You have to know that the consumption level of this booth is quite high. The minimum consumption starts from 6 figures. If you order some drinks or something, you can't even think about it. I remember that there was a national husband named Wang who spent a night in a bar, opened dozens of bottles of Spade Ace, and spent more than 2 million yuan. The consumption level of Moon Hotel is only higher, not lower. Gao Yang looked at their exaggerated expressions and movements and found them funny, but he remained calm on his face. He pretended to be fascinated and asked, "Can you please introduce yourselves first? Tell us what talents you have." "Okay, I'll go first." A girl in schoolgirl clothes stood up first. She blinked her eyes, posed in what she thought was the most charming pose, and said in a delicate voice, "My name is Xiao Qianqian. Not only can I sing and dance, but I can also count and play dice. I guarantee you will have a blast tonight." After saying that, she deliberately twisted her buttocks and made a sexy gesture. Gao Yang looked at her funny appearance and almost couldn't help laughing out loud. "Oh, you can also play finger guessing." He pretended to be interested. "How about we play a few games first?" Okay. Gao Yang snapped his fingers, and the waiter next to him immediately came forward. "Young Master Yang, what do you want?" "Let's open a few sets of Shenlong suits first." The Shenlong set is a set of champagne such as Spade Ace sold in bars, which is divided into the big Shenlong set and the small Shenlong set. Spade Ace itself is a very expensive wine, with a total of 6 colors, and the Dragon set combines this wine into sets of different colors. The Moon Bar's 6-color Dragon set is 88888. Except for the black and gold version, the other 5 colors are 78888. The small Dragon set in gold, pink and violet colors is 41,999. Generally speaking, after ordering this set in a bar, various lights and cheers will light up, making you the most eye-catching person in the entire bar. "Okay, young Master Yang." Gao Yang's distinguished status naturally made the waiter dare not neglect him. Soon, the Dragon set was carefully brought up by the waiter. Several bottles of crystal clear champagne of different colors were neatly placed on the table, and each bottle shone with an attractive luster. As the Dragon suit was served, the atmosphere in the bar instantly reached a boiling point. Beams of brilliant lights focused from all directions, shining on the dazzling bottle of Spade Ace, making the entire table shrouded in dazzling light. The music in the bar also became more passionate, as if cheering for this moment. The people around, whether they were the guests dancing on the dance floor or the busy waiters, all turned their eyes to the table where Gao Yang was sitting. Their eyes were filled with complex affection, envy, jealousy, and helplessness. You know, ordering a Dragon suit in a bar is not just a consumption behavior, but also a symbol of identity and status. Only those who are truly rich can spend money so generously and enjoy such eye-catching treatment. And Gao Yang has undoubtedly become the focus of everyone's attention at this moment. He sat there, facing everyone's gaze, but appeared very calm. Damn, whose general is so brave that he even arranged for the Dragon suit? I don't know, he must be a young master from some family, so damn arrogant. Yeah, I also want to experience this feeling, but unfortunately I am just born with the holy body of an ox or a horse. Alas, some people are born to be in Rome, some are born to be cattle and horses. I want to be quiet. People around were talking, and although their voices were not loud, Gao Yang could hear them clearly. He had never experienced this feeling before, the feeling of being envied and admired by others. It turned out that the power of money was infinite. He picked up the glass and shook it. "Come on, beauties, let's play finger guessing and drink." One dragon. Two good brothers. Three stars shining, for fortunes. Five champions. Six sixes. Seven clever things. Eight horses. Nine linked rings. A full house. However, at this moment, a burst of dissatisfied noise came from the next booth. It turned out that there was a rich second-generation guy named Li Hao sitting next to him. He was originally enjoying being surrounded by beautiful women, but when he saw that Gao Yang was so popular, he couldn't help feeling a little dissatisfied. Humph, why are you pretending to be so arrogant? Do you think you are so awesome just because you have a few sets of Shenlong suits? Li Hao looked at the lively scene in front of him, and a spirit of unwillingness to admit defeat rose in his heart. He glanced at Gao Yang, a disdainful smile appeared on his lips, and he thought to himself, "Today I have to show you what a truly rich person is." He waved to the waiter, looked rich and powerful, and asked, "How many sets did that guy over there open?" "3 sets. Humph, only 3 sets. Send me 6 sets of great dragons." When the waiter heard this, his eyes lit up immediately. This was a big order. He nodded and agreed. "Okay, Mr. Li, please wait a moment, I will arrange it for you right away." Chapter 13. I woke up in shock from my dying illness, and the clown turned out to be me? Soon, several sets of brightly colored, shining large dragons were brought up and placed on Li Hao's table. Suddenly, the lights in the entire bar focused on Li Hao, and the music became more passionate. Li Hao slapped the table triumphantly and looked at Gao Yang provocatively, as if to say, "Little guy, can't I cure you?" Gao Yang naturally noticed the movement next door, and he couldn't help laughing. "Hey, this brother is quite interesting. Is he arguing with me?" Gao Yang looked at Li Hao as if he were a fool, because the Mon bar originally belonged to the Gao family, and Gao Yang also had shares in it, and Li Hao's move was undoubtedly giving money to Gao Yang. How could Gao Yang miss such overwhelming wealth? So he turned to the waiter and said, "Continue serving wine." "Okay, young Master Yang." Of course the waiter didn't dare to disobey Gao Yang's order. He nodded quickly, then turned and ran towards the bar. Soon, more aces of spades were brought to Gao Yang's table, and the entire booth was flooded with colorful drinks, like a small ocean of drinks. Li Hao next door saw this and his face turned pale. Damn it! Gao Yang was filled with laughter and joy. The beauties surrounded him, praising his generosity and generosity. They squeezed their legs together, wishing they could throw themselves into his arms. "Wow, young Master Yang. Show off in my mouth. There's so much top-quality champagne, we're going to have a great time tonight. Young Master Yang is really generous. We must hang out with him more often in the future." Under the compliments of the beauties, Gao Yang picked up a glass of wine and said with great pride, "Come on, ladies, let's drink. We won't leave until we are drunk tonight." After saying that, he raised his head and drank it all in one gulp, drawing cheers from those around him. Li Hao next door was so angry that he stamped his feet and almost broke his back teeth. "Damn it! You really have to go against me, don't you?" "No, I can't just lose like this," Li Hao said in his heart. For a rich second generation like him, spending money is a small matter, but losing face is a big matter. Moreover, there are so many friends who came with him sitting in the booth today and watching him. If this is the end of the day, then wouldn't his prestige, Li Yuqian, be ruined? So, Li Hao waved to the waiter again and said gloomily, "Tell the bar manager that I'll cover all the drinks in the store today, except for booth number 1. When the waiter heard what Li Hao said, his eyes widened and his mouth opened so wide that it seemed as if an egg could fit in it. He stammered, Mr. Li, are you serious?" All inclusive. Li Hao waved his hand impatiently. "Stop talking nonsense and do it." The waiter nodded quickly, turned around and ran to inform the bar manager. Soon, the bar manager got the news. He looked at the waiter in shock and confirmed. "You mean, this young Master Li will pay for all expenses except for booth number 1? "Yes, sir, it's absolutely true." The waiter nodded rapidly. The bar manager was immediately delighted. This Mr. Li was really rich and willful. But it's a good thing this way, the bar's turnover tonight is sure to be off the charts. So he immediately gave orders to all the waiters to take action and bring out the best drinks. He was going to make Li Hao, the unfortunate victim, bleed tonight. Soon, their whole bar was in a frenzy, with all kinds of drinks flowing onto the tables at each booth. All the ambient lights were directed towards Li Hao's booth. The DJ picked up the microphone and shouted passionately. All expenses tonight will be paid for by Li Xiao. Let's have fun, everybody. At this time, Li Hao held his head high and looked at Gao Yang triumphantly, as if he had won the attack, as if to say, "You want to fight me? You're still a little naive." However, he never expected that Gao Yang laughed even more happily. Gao Yang looked at the piles of drinks and couldn't help laughing. Har har har, I've never seen such a fool in my life. But then again, his actions have increased the turnover of our bar. It would be unreasonable not to thank him. So Gao Yang took the initiative to pick up the wine glass and walked over. Seeing Gao Yang coming towards him, Li Hao was even more proud. Har har, is this guy really going to bow his head and apologize to me? However, Gao Yang's next words hit Li Hao hard. He raised his glass high. Mr. Li, right? Congratulations. You've spent over 5 million tonight, and you're now eligible to become a diamond member of our bar. Come, let me toast you. Li Hao was still immersed in the joy of victory, but when he suddenly heard Gao Yang's words, he was struck by lightning and suddenly stood there in a daze. What? You said this bar is yours? Li Hao asked stutteringly, his eyes full of disbelief. Gao Yang nodded with a smile. Yes, this bar is mine, and I personally own a stake in it, so, thank you for your heroic act tonight. Hearing this, Li Hao's face instantly turned as pale as paper. How is this possible? Li Hao spoke with trembling lips, cold sweat pouring down his forehead. He never expected that the boss behind the bar was Gao Yang, and he was just there smugly provoking the other party. This is simply a joke. After all this time, the clown turns out to be himself. Although Gao Yang said this lightly, it was like a bolt from the blue to Li Hao. A strong sense of humiliation surged in his heart, as if he had been slapped hard in the face. He stared at Gao Yang with eyes wide open, filled with anger and unwillingness. Are you kidding me? Gao Yang smiled slightly and did not answer. His smile seemed extremely glaring and sarcastic to Li Hao. Li Hao suddenly felt dizzy, as if he had lost the strength to support himself. He swung his hand violently, sweeping the wine glass on the table to the ground, making a crisp sound of shattering. Damn it! I can't swallow this. Li Hao roared angrily, stood up suddenly, and was about to rush towards Gao Yang. However, just as he took a step forward, a group of burly, stern-looking bodyguards suddenly rushed out from all directions and quickly surrounded Li Hao. These bodyguards are professional security personnel hired by the bar. They have received rigorous training, are agile and have great momentum. Seeing this, Li Hao quickly stepped back and shouted in a timid tone. What do you want to do? My father is Li Gang, how dare you touch me? Chapter 14 Husband, don't go. However, the bodyguards did not retreat at all. They stared at Li Hao expressionlessly, as if they were looking at a dead man. One of the leading bodyguards stepped forward and said coldly, "No matter who your father is, this is a bar, not a place for you to act wildly. Our boss has already given you a way out, so don't be ungrateful." Li Hao felt a little frightened by the bodyguard's cold gaze, but the anger in his heart grew stronger and stronger. He felt that he had lost all face tonight. If he left in disgrace, how would he survive in the circle in the future? So he said with gritted teeth, "Humph, today I am going to teach this ignorant fellow a lesson." After saying that, he swung his fist towards Gao Yang. However, before his fist touched Gao Yang, it was easily caught by a bodyguard. The bodyguard twisted his arm slightly and Li Hao screamed in pain, as if his entire arm was about to be broken. "Ouch, it hurts. Let go." Li Hao cried out in pain, but the bodyguard showed no mercy and instead increased his force. "Don't blame us for being rude. You asked for this," the bodyguard said coldly. Seeing this, the other bodyguards rushed forward, pinned Li Hao to the ground, and beat him up. Li Hao was beaten black and blue, and kept screaming. Soon, his friends were also subdued by the bodyguards and taken aside like little chickens. At this moment, Li Hao no longer had the arrogance he had just had. He sat on the ground dejectedly like a defeated rooster. Gao Yang looked at Li Hao's miserable condition and couldn't help shaking his head. Mr. Li, if you had known this would happen, why did you do it in the first place? I didn't want to make things so awkward, but you just wanted to make things awkward for yourself. After saying this, he turned to the bodyguards and said, Okay, stop fighting and bring him here. Upon hearing this, the bodyguards stopped beating Li Hao and brought him to Gao Yang. At this time, Li Hao no longer had the strength to resist. He lowered his head, not daring to look Gao Yang in the eye. Gao Yang looked at him and said calmly, Li Hao, what happened tonight is to teach you a lesson. There are always people who are better than you. Don't be too arrogant. Do you understand? Upon hearing this, Li Hao nodded and bowed, and said with a look of fear, Yes, yes, young Master Yang has taught me a lesson. I will never dare to do it again. Gao Yang nodded and turned back to his seat. Li Hao fled the bar in disgrace with a group of bruised and battered men. He glanced at the moon bar sign with hatred, then gritted his teeth and said, Gao Yang, I'll remember this. One day, I'll make you pay the price. With that, he limped out of the bar and disappeared into the night. Meanwhile, the moon bar returned to its previous bustle. Gao Yang drank several glasses of champagne in a row and his bladder felt a little swollen, so he prepared to go to the bathroom to drain the urine. Just as he was passing through the corridor, a drunk young girl threw herself into Gao Yang's arms. Gao Yang was slightly stunned. He looked down and saw a pretty girl with her eyes closed and flushed cheeks. She was obviously drunk. Her body leaned softly against Gao Yang, making Gao Yang feel a strange touch. He quickly supported the girl to prevent her from falling to the ground. However, at this moment, a burst of hurried footsteps came from not far away. Gao Yang looked up and saw several young men in shabby clothes walking towards him. They looked over the girl and had lewd smiles on their faces. Hey, guys, look at this little girl. She's so cute when she's drunk. One of the yellow-haired young men said with a strange smile. Another bold young man stepped forward and reached out to pull the girl's arm. Come on, brother will take you to a fun place. The drunken girl was unable to resist and could only let the bold young man pull her. Gao Yang saw this and protected the girl behind him. I'll give you 3 seconds, get out. The thugs were about to step forward to provoke, but they found that Gao Yang was the guest in booth number 1. They witnessed the whole scene of the bodyguards beating Li Hao. A big man of Gao Yang's level was someone they couldn't afford to offend. The leading thug swallowed his saliva and stammered. Brother, please don't misunderstand me. The bold man quickly let go of the girl's hand and took a few steps back, with a flattering smile on his face. Yes. I'm sorry, big brother. We didn't know this girl was your friend. We apologize for any offense. Gao Yang glanced at them coldly and uttered one word. Roll. Upon hearing this, the thugs felt as if they had been granted amnesty, and hurriedly nodded and bowed as they left the corridor. Gao Yang turned around and looked at the girl behind him, only to see that her cheeks were still slightly red and her breath smelled slightly of alcohol. He gently patted the girl's cheek, trying to wake her up. Hey girl, wake up, don't fall asleep here. However, the girl seemed to be completely unaware and just muttered subconsciously. Hubby, don't bother me, let me sleep a little longer. After saying that, she actually put her arms around Gao Yang's neck and rested her head on his shoulder. Husband. Gao Yang was stunned for a moment. He looked down at the girl in his arms, feeling a little embarrassed. He tried to push the girl away, but she hugged him even tighter, murmuring words like husband and dear. Gao Yang sighed helplessly. He knew he couldn't just leave a drunk girl here. He looked around and found an empty booth not far away, so he carried the girl over and let her lie on the sofa to rest. He was just about to get up and ask the waiter to bring something to sober him up when the girl suddenly grabbed his arm. Hubby, please don't leave. I want a kiss. The girl said dazedly, with a hint of coquettishness in her voice. Gao Yang was slightly stunned. He looked down and saw the girl looking at him with her eyes open, her eyes a little dazed. He shook his head helplessly, thinking that this silly girl probably mistook him for her boyfriend. He patted the back of the girl's hand gently and said softly, Miss, you got the wrong person. Let me go first. I'll go get you something to sober you up. However, the girl seemed not to hear his words. She held his arm tightly and kept rubbing against his arms. Gao Yang had a headache and didn't know what to do. Just then, a waiter came over and smiled awkwardly after seeing this scene. Young Master Yan, is this lady drunk? How about sending her to the private room? Chapter 15 Yarn Yan, this is your first school gift from your second aunt. Gao Yang glanced at the girl who was almost asleep in his arms and sighed helplessly. Okay, I'll take her there. He stood up, picked up the girl by the waist, and followed the waiter to a luxurious private room. The private room is elegantly decorated, spacious and comfortable, very suitable for rest. Gao Yang gently placed the girl on the soft sofa, then signaled the waiter to get some hangover medicine and water. After the waiter left, Gao Yang sat on the sofa and looked at the girl quietly. The girl lay quietly on the sofa, her face looked particularly soft under the soft light, her eyes were closed, and her long eyelashes were like two small fans, gently covering her eyelids. Although she was sleeping soundly, her two little hands were tightly holding Gao Yang's arms. Gao Yang sat on the sofa, looking at the girl lying beside him, feeling helpless. At this moment, he suddenly noticed an ID card sticking out of the girl's crossbody bag. He reached out and took out his ID card, and saw the three words, Lan Ruoshi, written in the name column. Lan Ruoshi. That's a nice name. Gao Yang repeated it. Ding, a girl with high appearance value is detected, Lan Ruoshi, appearance score, 88 points. This woman has been bound to their host. Interacting with her more often can trigger corresponding tasks and obtain rewards. A system prompt sounded in Gao Yang's mind. He patted Lan Ruoshi's cheek gently, trying to wake her up. Hey beauty, please let me go first, my hands are numb. However, Lan Ruoshi seemed not to hear his words and still held his arm tightly. Just then, the waiter came back with hangover medicine and hot water. Gao Yang took the hangover medicine and hot water, helped Lan Ruoshi up, and prepared to feed her the medicine. However, Lan Ruoshi suddenly reached out and hugged his neck, pulling him towards her. Honey, what are you doing? Lan Ruoshi asked dazedly. Gao Yang explained somewhat awkwardly. Oh, let me give you some medicine. You're drunk and need to sober up. However, the girl did not seem to appreciate it. She pouted and said coquettishly. I don't want to take medicine. I want you to kiss me. As she said that, she actually moved forward and wanted to kiss Gao Yang. Gao Yang was suddenly at a loss as to what to do. He wanted to stand up and push Lan Ruoshi away, but his foot slipped and he fell to the ground. Lan Ruoshi, who was hugging Gao Yang's arm tightly, also fell on Gao Yang. The following is paid content. There was no conversation that night, and only the moon knew what had happened. And the spider in the corner kept crawling and crawling. The next day, at noon, Gao Yang woke up from the sofa with a head drooping, and found that Lan Ruoshi had disappeared. Damn it! I might have drunk too much yesterday. Gao Yang thought about what happened last night and felt something was wrong. At this time, a piece of paper and a stack of banknotes on the coffee table caught his attention. Gao Yang unfolded the paper and couldn't help but gasp. Hiss! This woman. On this piece of paper was written in beautiful handwriting. Little dog, this money is for you. Remember, it was me who slept with you. Gao Yang looked at the banknotes and the note and couldn't help cursing in his heart. Damn it, how dare you call me a skinny dog? I have this muscular body, how can I be skinny? I'm obviously a wolf dog, okay. After saying that, Gao Yang walked to the private bathroom in the private room and admired his 8-pack abs while taking a shower. I don't know where this girl came from. Forget it. Although I suffered some losses, I didn't lose anything overall. I won't pursue her. Although Gao Yang was a little unhappy about Lan Ruoshi's leaving without saying goodbye, he was still happy in his heart. After all, you know. After a while, Gao Yang came out of the shower, picked up the Patek Philippe on the table, put it on his wrist, and then checked the time. Huh! Today is the first day of school. At this time, Gao Yang's mobile phone suddenly received a message from his second aunt Gao Xiaofeng. Yan, I heard that you are going to college, so your aunt will give you a gift to Koenigsegg Agera RS. In fact, I have already reserved it with the 4S store, and it is estimated that the car will arrive today. Gao Yang was shocked. As a car fan, he was no stranger to the Koenigsegg Agera RS, a global limited edition top sports car priced at more than 20 million. Gao Yang didn't expect that his second aunt would be so generous, but considering her status as a top popular actress, buying her a supercar would just be an additional endorsement, nothing more than a drop in the bucket. Gao Yang quickly replied to Gao Xiaofeng. Wow, really? Thank you, second aunt. Heart.jpg. Just after sending the message, Gao Yang received a call from the 4S store manager. Hello, is this Mr. Gao? The Koenigsegg Agera RS you ordered has arrived. Is it convenient for you to pick it up now? The manager's enthusiastic voice came from the other end of the phone. Okay, I'll be there in a minute. Gao Yang hung up the phone, went out, hailed a taxi, and went straight to their 4S store. Outside the store, the manager in a suit and tie had been waiting for a long time with several staff members. When the manager saw Gao Yang getting off the car, he immediately came forward with a smile on his face and extended his hand respectfully. Hello, Mr. Gao, welcome to our 4S store. Gao Yang also politely extended his hand and shook hands with the manager, smiling. Thanks for your hard work. No, it's our honor to have Mr. Gao here. As the manager spoke, he stepped aside to make way and pointed to the store. Your car is ready, please follow me. Gao Yang nodded, followed the manager and walked into the store. The lighting in the store is soft, the environment is elegant, and the air is filled with a faint smell of leather and gasoline. Gao Yang immediately spotted the Koenigsegg Agera RS parked in a prominent position. The whole car was like a cheetah ready to go, full of power. The entire vehicle body is made of unique carbon fiber material, which not only reduces the weight of the vehicle body but also makes it more durable. The design of the front of the car is even more unique, and the sharp headlights are like a cheetah's eyes, flashing sharp light. The lines on the side of the car body are smooth and dynamic, and the waistline extends from the front will arch to the rear of the car, creating a strong sense of movement. Gao Yang walked around the car several times and liked it more and more. He opened the car door and sat in the driver's seat. The interior was equally luxurious and exquisite. The instrument panel and center console both used high-tech touch screens, which were very convenient to operate. The car shop manager also explained professionally. Mr. Gao, let me tell you about the performance of this car. Chapter 16. Damn it. The limelight has been stolen. This Koenigsegg Agera RS is equipped with a 5.0-liter V8 twin-turbocharged engine with an amazing horsepower of 1,160 horsepower and a peak torque of 1,280 Nm. It accelerates from 0 to 100 km/h in just 2.8 seconds and has a top speed of 477 km/h. As soon as the manager finished speaking, Gao Yang couldn't wait to test drive this beast. He patted the steering wheel excitedly and said to the manager, "That sounds really exciting. Where are the car keys?" The manager quickly handed Gao Yang the car keys. Gao Yang adjusted the angle of the seat and steering wheel, took a deep breath, and then gently stepped on the accelerator. The sports car engine immediately emitted a low and powerful roar. Gao Yang put the car in gear and released the clutch. The Koenigsegg shot out of the 4S store like an arrow and headed towards Jinghai University. Today is the day for new students to report to Jinghai University, and the registration office is already packed with people. These gifted students who have come from all corners of the world have just experienced the baptism of the college entrance examination and have not yet completely lost the childishness on their faces. Each of them pulled their colorful suitcases and walked into the university gate with their vision of spending the next 4 years at university. At this time, at the freshman registration area, there were already countless carefully dressed senior students, eagerly awaiting the arrival of the new students. At this time, the roar of a sports car came from far away, and everyone looked in the direction of the sound and saw a fiery red Ferrari 488. The owner of this Ferrari is named Pang Guang. His family is in the building materials business and has assets worth hundreds of millions. He is a rich second generation. As soon as the college entrance examination was over, Pang Guang pestered his father every day to buy him a sports car just to show off at school. Sure enough, as soon as this Ferrari appeared, it immediately attracted countless eyes, especially the attention of many girls. Wow, that car is so beautiful. It looks like a Ferrari, right? A girl with a ponytail stared at the Ferrari with envy on her face. I heard that this kind of sports car costs several million. It's really a toy for the rich. TSK, I wish I could have a boyfriend like this, who would pick me up from school in a sports car. Just thinking about it makes me happy. That's right, I'll do anything as long as I can get in this car. The girls around were talking about it, their envy was evident in their words. Pang Guang drove his sports car with a proud look on his face, enjoying everyone's envious gazes. He even deliberately slowed down the speed and stopped at every corner so that more people could see his car. Well, the girls in this university are all of good quality. Which one should I choose? Oh, this one has too much makeup on her face, that one doesn't deserve a, the one behind is okay, but she's wearing too revealing clothes, probably a bit slutty. Pang Guang looked around, choosing as if he was selecting a concubine, and seemed to be looking forward to his new life in the future. However, just as he was driving triumphantly towards the new student registration office, an even more shocking roar was heard. Pang Guang subconsciously looked back and saw a silver-white supercar slowly approaching from a distance. Pang Guang recognized the car at a glance: Koenigsegg Agera RS, a super sports car worth tens of millions. Fuck, there are people driving this kind of car to school at Jinghai University. The students around were also attracted by the Koenigsegg and stopped to watch, with discussions breaking out one after another. Wow, that car is so cool. It's even cooler than a Ferrari. This is a real luxury car, worth more than 20 million, enough to buy 10 Ferraris. I wonder which rich man owns this car. Fuck. More than 20 million? I haven't earned that much money since I started working in the Republic of China. Pang Guang listened to the discussions around him and felt furious. He wanted to show off in front of the freshmen, but he didn't expect that someone would appear out of nowhere and steal all his limelight. At this moment, Koenigsegg slowly drove to the new student registration area and stopped in front of everyone. The car door opened and a young man wearing sunglasses and with an extraordinary temperament walked out. The moment Gao Yang got out of the car, the girls present seemed to have their hearts skipped a beat. The angular face, with elegant and firm lines, looks like a work of art carefully carved by a sculptor. A pair of deep eyes, sword-like eyebrows, star-like eyes, a high nose bridge, thin and strong lips, and slightly upturned corners of the mouth, with a bit of unrestrained and unruly. The girls around him were so attracted by Gao Yang's handsomeness that they stared at him infatuatedly, forgetting to breathe, as if as long as Gao Yang was willing, it wouldn't be a problem. Oh my god, that boy is so handsome. He's even more handsome than Pigeon. Oh my god, I can't take it anymore. I feel like I'm about to come. Don't stop me, I want to chase him and give birth to a baby for him. Go away, you mediocre girls, stop dreaming. How can someone like you, I, the most beautiful girl in the department, have to do it myself? The girls were talking one after another, but Gao Yang seemed not to hear them and walked straight to the new student registration area. Pang Guang felt even more unbalanced when he saw this. He walked up to Gao Yang and said provocatively, "Hey, kid, you have a nice car. Where did you get it?" Gao Yang glanced at him and said lightly, "Does it have anything to do with you?" Pang Guang was angered by Gao Yang's indifferent attitude. He felt that he was at least a well-known rich second generation in Jinghai, but the boy in front of him was so arrogant and didn't take him seriously at all. He sneered, walked up to Gao Yang, and deliberately said loudly, "You little jerk, don't think you're great just because you drive a Koenigsegg. My family can afford one." Gao Yang raised his head, glanced at Pang Guang with a cold look, and said, "Then go buy it, and tell me a joke." You? Pang Guang was choked by Gao Yang's words and was speechless. He wanted to continue provoking, but he didn't have the confidence. After all, there were many students watching around. He felt unwilling but had no place to vent his anger, so he could only glare at Gao Yang hatefully, then turned and left. However, Pang Guang did not give up. He was thinking about how to get back his face. Suddenly, he thought of a person: Shu Kuan. Shu Kuan is very famous in Jinghai University. Not only is his family rich, but he also has a cousin who is involved in gangsters. He has always been a boss in the school and has a group of younger brothers under him. Pang Guang had met Shu Kuan at a party before and added him on WeChat, thinking that he could ask him for help if he had any problems at school in the future. Now, Pang Guang felt that it was time to use this relationship. He took out his phone and sent a WeChat message to Shu Kuan. "Brother Kuan, I'm Xiao Guang, I need your help with something." Chapter 17. Yan, Young Master Yan, I'm here to find him. Soon, Shu Kuan replied. "Oh? Hikaru, what's the matter? Tell me." Pang Guang briefly described what happened, and then said, "Brother Kuan, that kid is too arrogant, can you help me teach him a lesson?" Shukuan waited for a while and replied. Okay, I got it. Wait, I'll be there soon. After receiving the reply, Pang Guang felt secretly delighted. He believed that with Shukuan's intervention, that ignorant boy would definitely suffer a setback. After a while, Shukuan rushed to the new student registration office with a few of his men. He saw Pang Guang on a Ferrari, as well as the Koenigsegg parked next to it, at a glance. Hey, Guang, your car is great. Lend it to me for 2 days. Shukuan walked up to Pang Guang and greeted him. Sure. Pang Guang greeted him with a happy face. Brother Kuan, it's that kid over there, he thinks he's great just because he drives a Koenigsegg, and he's even rude. Shukuan looked in the direction of Pang Guang's finger and saw Gao Yang standing in front of the registration office with his back to him, processing admission documents. He frowned, feeling a little unhappy. In Jinghai University, Shukuan was considered a well-known figure, but the boy in front of him didn't take him seriously at all, which made him feel very uncomfortable. He walked up to Gao Yang and asked in a cold voice. Hey, what's your name? Gao Yang did not reply. Are you new here? Don't you know the rules here? You don't even take the seniors seriously. What rules? Gao Yang slowly turned around. Seeing Gao Yang's familiar face, Shukuan collapsed to the ground with a plop, and was almost frightened to death again. Young Master Yang, why is it you? Shukuan's voice was trembling, and it was obvious that he was frightened by Gao Yang. The students who were originally watching the scene were all stunned by this sudden change and didn't understand what was happening. Pang Guang looked at Shukuan's sudden loss of composure and felt uneasy. He walked forward and asked doubtfully. Brother Kuan, what's wrong? Is there something wrong with this kid? Shukuan didn't answer him, but just signaled him to shut up with his eyes. Although Pang Guang didn't understand what was going on, when he saw Shukuan's frightened eyes, he realized that something seemed to be wrong. Gao Yang looked at Shukuan, a sneer appeared on his lips, and said. Shukuan, I haven't seen you for a few days. You think you are doing well again, right? Shukuan quickly shook his head, a layer of cold sweat already seeping out of his forehead, and he stammered. Young Master Yang, how dare I? I just didn't expect to meet you here. Then what are you doing here? When Shukuan heard this, he suddenly had an idea and looked at Pang Guang with a fierce look in his eyes. Young Master Yang, I'm here to find him. He walked up to Pang Guang, grabbed him by the collar, and said harshly. Boy, you are so brave that you even dare to offend young Master Yang. Pang Guang was frightened out of his wits by Shukuan's sudden action. He stammered. Kuan, Brother Kuan, I don't know who he is. I just thought he was being arrogant and wanted to teach him a lesson. Teach him a lesson. Shukuan sneered, loosened Pang Guang's collar, and slapped him hard in the face. Don't you see what kind of person you are? Are you qualified to teach young Master Yang a lesson? Pang Guang was slapped and staggered, almost falling to the ground. He covered his face with his eyes full of fear. He didn't understand why Shukuan was so wary of this new student. Shukuan ignored Pang Guang's reaction. He walked up to Gao Yang and said respectfully. Young Master Yang, do you think this is an okay approach? Gao Yang raised his eyebrows. What do you think? Shukuan understood immediately. He glared at Pang Guang, then waved his hand and asked his men to surround Pang Guang. Pang Guang was flustered when he saw this. He didn't expect Shukuan to suddenly turn against him. He quickly said. Brother Kuan, what are you doing? Didn't we agree to teach this kid a lesson together? Shukuan sneered and said. Are you blind? This is young Master Yang. How dare I, Shukuan, offend him? It's you I want to teach you a lesson. As he said that, he kicked Pang Guang in the stomach, knocking him to the ground. Ouch! Pang Guang screamed, fell to the ground holding his stomach, his face full of pain. Seeing this, Shukuan's men rushed forward and punched and kicked Pang Guang, and soon he was beaten black and blue. The students watching were stunned by this scene. They didn't expect that this new student had such a great background, and even the school bully Shukuan obeyed his orders. Gao Yang stood aside and watched all this coldly. Pang Guang was groaning in pain on the ground. He thought he could rely on Shukuan's influence to walk sideways in the school, but he didn't expect to kick against an iron wall. He was even more regretful in his heart. Fuck, the damn author said he would arrange fighting scenes for me, but it turns out that they were all about beating me up. Shu Kun fought for a while and felt that it was enough, so he signaled his men to stop. He walked up to Gao Yang and asked cautiously, "Young Master Yang, are you satisfied with this handling?" Gao Yang nodded and said, "Okay, you're sensible." Shu Kun felt relieved, bowed 90 degrees and said, "Young Master Yang, if you have any instructions in the future, just come to me. I, Shu Kun, will go through fire and water for you without hesitation." Gao Yang smiled and said, "Okay, stop pretending and get out of my sight right now." "Yes, yes, yes. Let's drink together when we are free, young Master Yang." Shu Kun nodded and bowed while quickly fleeing the scene with his followers. Gao Yang turned and walked towards the registration office to complete the remaining admission procedures. At this time, the senior students swarmed in front of Gao Yang and rushed to carry his luggage. "Junior, let me help you with your luggage." "Let me do it, Junior. I practice yoga every day and I'm very strong." "You guys can't do it, let me do it. My period is very regular, I can go to the 18th floor in one breath, and I can carry the luggage without even taking a breath." The senior students rushed to Gao Yang's side, and each of them was very attentive. Gao Yang is rich, powerful, tall and handsome, which makes him a popular guy in the eyes of girls. Gao Yang looked at their enthusiasm and felt a little amused. He shook his head and said, "Thank you for your kindness, seniors, but I can do it myself." As he said this, he picked up his luggage and strode towards the registration office. Seeing this, the senior students were stunned for a moment, and then they all showed disappointed expressions. "Hey, why is this junior so unkind? Yeah, he's so cool, I thought I'd have a chance to get closer to him. But then again, Junior is really handsome. Even when he rejects people, he's so handsome. Yes, even if he treats me to a bowl of spicy hot pot for 6 yuan, I will be willing to do it." Chapter 18. What? It's her? Click, click. The senior schoolmates were talking about it, with infatuated expressions on their faces, and they were taking pictures with their phones. Soon, a post titled "The most handsome junior at Jinghai University reports for duty in a sports car worth tens of millions" occupied the homepage of the school forum. Gao Yang, on the other hand, became a popular candidate for the freshman campus hunk just by looking at his blurry back. Gao Yang drove the Koenigsegg towards the dormitory and soon arrived downstairs of the dormitory building. The entrance to the dormitory building was crowded with people, with new and old students mixed together. Some were dragging heavy suitcases, some were chatting and joking with each other, and some were anxiously looking for their dormitory numbers. The noisy sounds were heard one after another. As soon as Gao Yang parked his car, a group of people gathered around him, looking at his sports car curiously. "Oh my god, what kind of car is this? It's so cool. Look at the logo, it should be Koenigsegg, it's worth tens of millions. Aren't you afraid of getting scratches on such an expensive car when you drive it into the dormitory building?" Amid the endless discussions, Gao Yang frowned slightly, then walked quickly towards the dormitory building. As you walk into the dormitory building, a stuffy atmosphere hits you in the face. The corridor is narrow and dark, and the dormitory doors are all over the place, covered with all kinds of posters and notes, making it look messy. The environment of this dormitory is really not good. It seems that I have to buy a villa nearby. Gao Yang shook his head and had already started to think about going to school as a day student. After saying that, he immediately sent a message to his personal secretary Park Ji-hyun, asking her to choose a villa for him nearby. "Young Master Yang, what kind of villa do you need?" Park Ji-hyun asked. "It doesn't matter what else, as long as it's big and spacious and close to school. Money is not a problem." "Got it, do it immediately." Gao Yang then found his dormitory number and pushed the door open. There were already 2 roommates in the dormitory, and they were chatting. One of them, a fat guy with big ears, was showing off a watch. "See. This is the Rolex Green Submariner my dad bought for me. He spent tens of thousands of dollars on it. Brother Cheong, you are so rich." A skinny boy next to him looked envious. "This is a nice watch." Gao Yang joked. "Of course. I, Zhang Ziqian, dare not say anything else, but I am an expert in the watch appreciation circle." After saying that, Zhang Ziqian's eyes fell on the watch on Gao Yang's wrist, and his eyes almost popped out. You are wearing a Patek Philippe luxury version of the Nautilus 5980 white gold. The one that is limited to 100 pieces worldwide." Gao Yang raised his wrist, looked at the watch, and said casually, "Oh, you mean this? I bought it to wear for fun." Zhang Ziqiang's eyes widened, as if he had seen an alien. It took him a while to come back to his senses, and he stammered. Wear it for fun. This watch costs at least 5 million. My Rolex is nothing compared to yours. 5 million. His roommate Shenhao was also shocked. Brother Qiang, are you kidding me? How can this watch be so expensive? Zhang Ziqiang said seriously. Why would I lie to you? I have studied this specially. This Patek Philippe luxury version of the Nautilus 5980 Platinum is sold in limited quantities worldwide. You may not be able to buy it even if you have money. Brother, can you lend it to me to have a look? Gao Yang smiled, took it off and threw it to Zhang Ziqiang. Oh my god, be careful bro, don't break it, I can't afford the compensation even if I sell it. Zhang Ziqiang took the watch carefully and studied it carefully. At this moment, the dormitory door was suddenly pushed open, and a burly, dark-skinned boy walked in. He was holding a bucket of mineral water in his hand and had a towel around his neck. It was obvious that he had just returned from exercise. Hey, everyone is here. Is this the new one? Hello, hello. The black boy greeted Gao Yang, and then saw the watch on Zhang Ziqiang's hand. His eyes suddenly lit up. Wow, this watch is pretty cool. Qiangzi, where did you get this treasure? Let me see it. After saying this, he stretched out his hand to take the watch, but Zhang Ziqiang slapped his hand away. Qin Yo, pay attention to this. This is a limited edition Patek Philippe watch, worth hundreds of dollars. Fuck, millions. The dark-skinned boy widened his eyes in disbelief. Such an expensive watch, aren't you afraid of being robbed if you wear it on your hand? Gao Yang smiled and said. Har har, you guys are exaggerating. It's just a watch. If you lose it, just get another one. Everyone was speechless upon hearing this. Zhang Ziqiang and Shenhao looked at each other and secretly rejoiced. What is a super rich man? This is a super rich man. After Zhang Ziqiang admired it, he reluctantly handed the watch to Gao Yang, then looked at him with admiration and asked. Brother, what's your name? Gao Yang. Brother Yang, you are awesome. From now on you are my big brother, I will follow you. Shenhao also echoed. Yes, Brother Yang, is your company still short of people? Don't forget to help your brothers after graduation. Gao Yang smiled and patted their shoulders. Har har, that's not necessary. Since we're in the same dormitory, we're all brothers, regardless of age. Aha! Gao Yan's personal charm quickly conquered Zhang Ziqiang and the other two. Zhang Ziqiang took out a box of soft Zhonghua cigarettes and took out a cigarette for Gao Yang to light. Brother Yang, want one? Gao Yang nodded, took the cigarette handed to him by Zhang Ziqiang, and started puffing smoke. He tilted his head slightly and took a deep breath. The cigarette smoke swirled between his mouth and nose. Combined with his perfect and somewhat exaggerated profile, he looked like the protagonist in a movie. The other three people in the dormitory looked at him smoking, their eyes full of envy and admiration. Brother Yang is so handsome. It seems that you are the most handsome boy in this year's school. Indeed, I think even that senior, Jinghai male god Ou Haichen, is not half as handsome as Brother Yang. Gao Yang smiled slightly and said modestly. Xiao Shuai, just Xiao Shuai. At this moment, Shenhao suddenly seemed to remember something, took out a Redmi 10 phone from his pocket, and said mysteriously. Do you know that there is a ranking of campus beauties on the forum of Jinghai University? There are several campus beauties who have been on the list for many years. I guess only Brother Yang can match them. Qin Yo asked curiously. School beauties. Who are they? Shenhao opened the school forum and found the profiles of several school beauties. The first one is called Nangong Yuer, but she is not in school all year round. I heard that she is the daughter of a big family. The second one is called Qin Yuyen, she is the most beautiful girl in the School of Arts. Her articles are often published in major media. She is an absolute talented woman. The third one is amazing. Her name is Lan Ruorshi, also known as the Iceberg Goddess. She is the beauty of our art college and is currently a senior. I heard that she will be responsible for organizing our freshman welcome party. Brother Yang, you must seize the opportunity. At this time, Gao Yang was drinking a sip of mineral water. When he heard the name Lan Ruorshi, he almost spit out the water. What's your name? Let me see. After saying that, Gao Yang snatched Chen Hao's phone, and it was that familiar face. However, the Lan Ruoshi in the photo had a cold and world-weary face, completely different from the girl who was acting coquettishly in Gao Yang's arms. It's her? Chapter 19. There is a punishment for losing. Achoo! At the same time, in the girls' dormitory opposite, a girl wearing cute pajamas with Pikachu patterns printed on them couldn't help but sneeze. Since she came back from the bar, she felt sore throat, sore hands, and sore knees, which might be a cold. Ruoshi, what's wrong with you these past 2 days? Why do you seem absent-minded? And you didn't come home last night. Where did you go? Tell me the truth. There was a girl sitting opposite Lan Ruoshi with her hands on her hips, and she asked in a pretended angry tone. Oh, no, I went to the bar yesterday to drink some wine, and then I found a hotel to sleep in. Zendujadu? Oh. The girl was Lan Ruoshi's roommate, named Li Xiaolu. She was obviously a little unconvinced, so she leaned over to Lan Ruoshi and sniffed. Are you lying to me? Why do you smell like a man? Come here quickly. Or I'll spank you. Li Xiaolu picked up a slipper and made a gesture of torture. Oh my aunt, please forgive me, I really didn't lie to you. Li Xiaolu put down the toe stick with doubt. Humph, you are not allowed to secretly look for a man without telling me. We agreed to be companions. Lan Ruoshi smiled bitterly, looked across thoughtfully, and said to herself. Do you think there is love at first sight in this world? What? You actually believe in love at first sight? You don't have a fever, do you? Li Xiaolu reached out and touched Lan Ruoshi's forehead, then acted like an experienced person. I'll tell you, based on my years of experience studying the psychology of love, I've come to the conclusion that I would rather believe in ghosts than believe a man's broken mouth. Love at first sight is the most unreliable thing. Lan Ruoshi looked at her with disdain. If I remember correctly, someone has been single for 20 years, right? Go away. Have you ever seen pork but have you seen a pig run? I'm studying psychology, do you understand? Har har har, I understand. Lan Ruoshi didn't want to argue with her roommate anymore, so she put on her Beats headphones and started listening to music. However, Gao Yang's face vaguely appeared in her mind. Although it's a bit rough, it would be exciting to think about it if I were to date him. At this time, Lan Ruoshi's phone lit up. She opened it and saw a message from the counselor. Student Ruoshi, I have to take a leave of absence for a few days because of something at home, so please help me deal with the new students first. If there is a troublemaker, don't be polite to him. There is also the matter of the freshman party. We must prepare well. This year, the president will come to watch our college's performance in person. Lan Ruoshi sighed softly when she saw the message from her counselor. She didn't want to get involved in such matters, but when she thought about how her counselor had helped her a lot when she was applying for admission to graduate school, she couldn't refuse. So Lan Ruoshi sorted out her feelings and sent a message back to the instructor. Received. I promise to complete the mission. Salute.jpg. Then another notice was sent in the group. All freshmen, please gather in the conference room of the Art Center teaching building in 1 hour. We will have a brief meeting. On the other hand, at this time Gao Yang did not notice the message sent by Lan Ruoshi in the freshman group. Because Lin Wanner just sent him a message. Brother Gao Yang, I'm preparing to broadcast live on the HuYu platform now, do you want to come and take a look, hee hee. After saying that, she also sent a few sexy photos of herself wearing black stockings. Gao Yang zoomed in and out of the photo, looked at it dozens of times, and replied. It's okay. I'm not too interested in this. Please send me your ID. Lin Wanner immediately sent a link with the ID Xiaomuzi. Gao Yang clicked on it and couldn't help swallowing. Lin Wanner was seen sitting in a carefully decorated room with a pink wall as the background, which was covered with various cute decorations. The whole atmosphere seemed both sweet and tempting. She was wearing a black tight dress, the design of which cleverly highlighted her perfect figure. The hem of the dress was slightly slit, revealing a pair of long, straight legs. The black stockings on her legs fit tightly against her skin, making the lines of her legs more seductive. Lin Wanner sat on a high chair, her feet gently swinging, her whole body exuding a lazy and charming aura. Many LSBs have gathered in the live broadcast room, and the barrage of comments is scrolling rapidly on the screen. Xiaomuzi is so beautiful, her legs are so sexy. Sexy.jpg. Their host is wearing black stockings, which is extremely tempting. Alas, if Xiaomuzi and Zhang Ruonan pursue me at the same time, who should I choose? Upstairs, I don't mind waking you up with a pee. My pee is yellow, let me go first. U1S1, with this face and this figure, she is definitely the top beauty anchor on the HuYu platform. The barrage was filled with words of praise for Lin Wanner, and nearly 1,000 people flocked in instantly. Lin Wanner smiled and said, "Thank you for your support. I'm still studying and don't usually do live streaming. Let's just play a couple of PKs today." After saying that, he clicked the random PK button at the bottom of the screen and was quickly matched with the anchor. The live broadcast room screen was instantly split into two, and another beautiful anchor appeared on the right. This anchor is none other than Sister Ju, who is also known as the #1 tiger fish anchor. Sister Ju looks sweet and lovely, but unfortunately she has a mouth that makes a bang 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 sound like a machine gun and can't stop. It can be said that Ju Jie rarely loses in her PK career, and even the opposing anchor is often scolded by her until he cries. Seeing that Lin Wanner was matched with Sister Ju, the LSBs in the live broadcast room couldn't help but sweat. His tilder, this high-end game is not easy to play. We have to fight even if it's not easy. 2nd Battalion Commander, pull out our Italian cannon. Damn it, I'm going to risk it all. I'm going to eat instant noodles this month and spend all my newly paid salary on voting for Goddess Muzi. When Sister Ju saw that their host was a new anchor, she didn't take her seriously and teased her. How do we play, little sister? There are penalties for losing this game, right? What punishment? Not much, 100 squats and frog jumps. Lin Wanner was a little hesitant when she heard this. Although she worked out regularly, she didn't know if she could bear it. Why, you don't dare to come. You look pretty, so you shouldn't need a big brother, right? At this time Gao Yang couldn't stand it anymore. This Sister Ju actually dared to look down on others. You have to know that Lin Wanner is a girl bound to the system. If she loses, she will be slapping herself in the face. So Gao Yang picked up his phone and sent Lin Wanner 3 words. Fight her. Chapter 20. The bigger the waves, the more expensive the fish. Seeing Gao Yang's news, Lin Wanner suddenly felt confident. She smiled slightly and said to the camera, "Okay, then let's do as you say." When Sister Ju saw that Lin Wanner agreed so readily, she couldn't help but feel a little confused, but she still refused to let her off. "Okay, since you agreed, don't blame me for being rude." As the PK officially began, the live broadcast rooms on both sides became lively. Sister Ju is worthy of being a veteran anchor on the HuYu platform. She has extensive connections and quickly found several big brothers to help her. Among them is a level 50 boss with the ID Shark King, known as the richest man in Jiangbei. He once gave Sister Ju a 7-digit gift, which established her status as the #1 tiger fish in the world. Sure enough, the Shark King immediately sent out a wave of gifts. Shark King send out confession balloons 10. Shark King send out confession balloons 10. Shark King send out confession balloons 10. The Shark King was very generous and bought 100 confession balloons right away. One balloon cost 5,000 tiger tooth coins, which is a full 5,000 blue star coins. Seeing the luxurious gift from the Shark King, Ju Jie's live broadcast room exploded instantly, with comments pouring in like a tide, and voices of praise coming one after another. Big Shark King is so mighty. This move is so different, he really is our tiger fish king. Master Shark, your skill is even better than Principal Wang's. Sister Ju, you are sure to win this time. Har har har, with this move by the Shark King, the little sister on the other side must be trembling with fear. Sister Ju was also grinning from ear to ear. While thanking the Shark King for his generous gift, she did not forget to tease Lin Wanner on the other side. Little sister, did you see that? This is my strength. Don't get close to me. However, just when Sister Ju and her fans were feeling proud, a mysterious account with the ID Jinghai Fishmonger suddenly appeared in Lin Wanner's live broadcast room. This account is just a level 1 rookie who hasn't even recharged the juke, but suddenly gave out a wave of even more amazing gifts. Jinghai Fishmonger send out confession balloons 10. Jinghai Fishmonger sends out super rocket 10. Jinghai Fishmonger gives away carnival 10. This wave of gifts instantly flooded Lin Wanner's live broadcast room, and the screen was full of dazzling gift special effects. The value of the gifts is even more amazing, a super rocket is worth 7,500 blue star coins, and a carnival is worth 10,000 blue star coins. In this wave alone, a total of 1 million gifts were given out. But the moment Gao Yang finished giving gifts, a prompt sounded from the system. Ding, it is detected that the host has spent 1 million, and the rebate is 5 times, and the 5 million reward has been received. Seeing the bank card arrival notification, Gao Yang sighed, Versailles Circuit. Alas, being rich is so painful. The more money you spend, the more money you have. Who can bear this? Lin Wan's live broadcast room was also instantly boiling, and the barrage was full of exclamations and cheers. Fuck, this guy is so awesome. He gave such a big gift right away, he is so generous and inhumane. Xiao Muzi is going to be famous. There is a big shot who wants to make her famous. Har har har, Sister Ju has met her match this time. Looking at the momentum, Xiao Muzi is going to make a comeback. Seeing this scene, Sister Ju's face suddenly turned gloomy. She originally thought that with the support of the Shark King, she would surely win the PK, but she didn't expect a Cheng Yao Jin to show up halfway, and the strength of this mysterious man seemed to be even higher than that of the Shark King. However, Sister Ju was not someone who would give up easily. She sneered and said coquettishly to the camera, Master Shark, how come we are so far behind? You can't let me lose. When the Shark King heard Sister Ju's coquettish voice, Jer stood up straight. He waved his hand and launched another fierce gift offensive. Shark King gives out Carnival 10. Shark King send out Super Rocket 10. Shark King send out the Castle 10. With this wave of gifts from King Shark, Jujia's live broadcast room was instantly ignited again, with barrages scrolling wildly and voices of flattery ringing in the ears. At this time, the Shark King also spoke in the live broadcast room. A large golden font exclusive to Emperor members appeared on the public screen, and his tone was full of provocation. Har har, girl on the other side, did you see that? This is called giving gifts to compete in PK. Why didn't your friend who sells fish give gifts anymore? Is it because he doesn't have enough money in his pocket, so he went to the market to sell fish to make back his money? As soon as these words came out, Jujia's live broadcast room was suddenly filled with laughter, and many viewers followed suit. However, the fishmonger in Jinghai was unmoved. He just replied calmly. There's a saying that the bigger the storm, the more expensive the fish. You'll know if the fish is good to sell if you try. As soon as these words came out, the live broadcast room suddenly became quiet. The Shark King obviously didn't expect the other party to respond like this. He was stunned for a moment, then said angrily, Okay, I want to see how valuable your fish is. If I, Shark King, lose this PK today, I will quit the Tiger Fish platform from now on. After saying that, the Shark King launched another crazy wave of gift offensive, and he was determined not to stop until he knocked the opponent down. Shark King gives out Carnival 10. Shark King send out Confession Balloons 10. Soon the gifts sent by Shark King reached 5 million. Gao Yang did not give out gifts like the Shark King did crazily, but waited quietly for a while, as if enjoying this farce. Then, he suddenly spoke, his voice coming through the microphone with a hint of joking. Brother Shark, you'd better save your money. Don't take out the little coins in your pocket and embarrass yourself, okay? After saying that, he lightly clicked the mouse, and exclamations instantly broke out in the live broadcast room. Jinghai Fishmonger gives away Dream Castle 50. Jinghai Fishmonger gives away Galaxy Battleship 50. Jinghai Fishmonger gives away 50 Dragon Scale and Phoenix Feather. The value of each of these gifts far exceeds those given by the Shark King before. In just over 10 minutes, Gao Yang gave out gifts worth 10 million, which directly pushed Lin Wan's live broadcast room to the top of the hot search list and shocked the entire network. Ding, congratulations to their host for spending 10 million, random rebate 10 times, 100 million yuan in the account. Gao Yang was stunned. In the time it takes to drink water, a small goal was achieved. 1 million netizens suddenly crowded into Lin Wan's live broadcast room to witness this unprecedented PK together. King Shark's face turned pale as he looked at the gift special effects that kept scrolling on the public screen. The audience in the live broadcast room was completely ecstatic, and they were all stunned. Fuck, this fishmonger is so awesome. He spent 10 million at once, must he have a mine at home? What fishmonger? Call me fish brother from now on. Oh, yes, yes, yes. With the support of a big boss like Brother Yu, won't she be able to walk sideways on the Tiger Fish platform in the future? Har har har, the Shark King has hit a wall this time. Let's see if he dares to be so arrogant in the future. Chapter 21. Just wait and see if I am not real to you. The Shark King looked at the screen full of ridicule and sarcasm, and his heart was burning with anger. I originally wanted to show off my strength in front of everyone, but I didn't expect to become a laughingstock in the end. He gritted his teeth and decided to give it one last try. He took a deep breath and then spoke in the live broadcast room. Okay, fishmonger, you really want to force me, right? Then I'll play with you to the end. If I, the Shark King, lose this PK today, I'll eat shit live. As soon as the Shark King said this, the live broadcast room suddenly exploded, the barrage of comments rolled wildly, and the audience was stunned. Fuck, is the Shark King serious about this? Eat shit. This bet is too high. How many pounds do you want to eat? I can contribute 2 pounds. I'm 3 pounds. You guys are too petty, I'll just eat 10 pounds. Great Shark King, take it easy, don't be impulsive. However, the Shark King seemed to be crazy. He no longer paid attention to the discussions in the barrage, but directly started a new round of gift-giving offensive. Shark King sends out Dream Castle 50. Shark King send out Galaxy Battleship 50. Shark King send out Super Rocket 100. In just a few minutes, the Shark King sent out another gift worth 5 million, reigniting the PK war. At this time, Lynn Wayner's live broadcast room had completely exploded, creating the highest number of viewers in the history of the HuYu platform. After giving out gifts, the Shark King proudly challenged in the live broadcast room. Har har, did the guy on the other side see that? You're just a stinky fishmonger. What is strength? This is strength. Those small fish and shrimps you brushed are not even worth mentioning. However, Gao Yang looked at the Shark King as if he were a clown. He sneered and said calmly, Brother Shark King, are you sure you want to play like this? If you lose in the end, it will be a very unpleasant experience to eat shit. When the Shark King heard this, he immediately became angry and roared. Stop talking nonsense. If you have the guts, just keep on brushing. Let's see who will have the last laugh. Gao Yang had a playful smile on his face. He lightly clicked the mouse, and exclamations broke out again in the live broadcast room. Jinghai Fishmonger sends out Spaceship 100. Jinghai Fishmonger gives away Phoenix Flying 100. Jinghai Fishmonger gives away 9 Heavens Mysterious Lady 100. Soon, the value of the gift Gao Yang sent soared to 100 million. The system prompt sounded continuously. Ding, congratulations to their host for spending 100 million, random rebate 2 times, 200 million yuan in the account. Hearing this prompt tone, Gao Yang almost couldn't help laughing out loud. As Shark King looked at the gift special effects that kept scrolling on the public screen, his face turned as pale as paper. He could never have imagined that this fishmonger would actually dare to fight him to the end, and gave him many more gifts than him. At this time, the audience in the live broadcast room had gone completely crazy. They kept posting words like 666, awesome, my mom asked me why I was kneeling to watch the live broadcast, on the barrage to express their shock at this unprecedented PK. Lin Wana covered her mouth in surprise and even forgot to say thank you. Ding, Lin Wana's favorability +5, current favorability, 85. After seeing Gao Yang finish a whole small target before stopping, the Shark King got scared. The real identity of the Shark King is Xu Hongwei, a rich second generation from Jingzhou, the capital of Handong province. His family's Dahua group is in the real estate business. Although it is one of the largest in Jingzhou city and his family has tens of billions or even hundreds of billions, no matter how rich they are, it is impossible for them to take out 100 million to give him gifts during the live broadcast. The 10 million he spent was the result of him begging his family for money to buy a sports car. In the end, he didn't even see the shadow of the car, and all his efforts were wasted. If his dad knew about it, he would probably pull out his Septwolf's belt and beat him up. What made Xu Hongwei most uncomfortable was that he clearly spent 10 million, but compared with Gao Yang's 100 million, it seemed extremely shabby. Not only did he fail to sleep with the female anchor, but he also lost all the reputation he had worked so hard to accumulate. He really lost both his money and his life. Gao Yang on the other side would naturally not let him go, and asked in large golden letters on the public screen. Brother Shark, don't forget the live broadcast of eating shit you promised. Otherwise, I don't mind beating you back to make fish head soup. Looking at the 4 glaring words, live broadcast of eating shit, on the public screen, Shark King Xu Hongwei's face instantly turned ashen. He felt his face was burning as if it was on fire. He originally thought that he was the winner of this PK, but he didn't expect that he would lose so badly in the end and be forced to eat shit by the opponent. This was such a huge humiliation for him, how could he possibly accept it? However, Gao Yang seemed not to notice his embarrassment and anger, and continued to provoke in the live broadcast room. What? Little shark, you're not going to default on your debt, are you? Everyone is watching us. When Xu Hongwei heard this, he was so angry that he trembled all over. He wanted to rush over immediately, pin Gao Yang to the ground and beat him up. But he could only suppress the anger in his heart and said with gritted teeth, "Don't be so proud. I, Xu Hongwei, keep my word. Since I lost, I will not default on my debt. How about this? I will give you a gift worth 5 million as the stakes for this time. How about that?" Xu Hongwei thought of a compromise. He felt that this way he could save some face and avoid actually eating shit. However, Gao Yang seemed to see through his thoughts and sneered. "Oh, you're quite good at finding a way out. But, I'm a stubborn person. If I say I'll eat shit, I'll eat shit. There's no need to beat around the bush. Besides, you only gave 5 million gifts and wanted to call it a day. Then wouldn't my 100 million be wasted? How about this, I won't make it difficult for you. You eat a pile of shit and I'll give you a gift worth 100 million. How about that?" As soon as Gao Yang said this, the audience in the live broadcast room burst into laughter. They didn't expect Gao Yang to make such a request. Not only did he slap the Shark King in the face, he also mocked him for being poor. 5 million and 100 million. Can they be compared? Xu Hongwei was so angry that his face turned blue. He felt like he was being made a fool of. He gritted his teeth and said, "You, don't go too far. I, the Shark King, am also a well-known person. How could I really eat shit? If you keep pushing me like this, believe it or not, I'll find someone to fuck you offline." Gao Yang was not afraid at all when he heard this, but instead mocked. "Oh, you have quite a temper. But you can only show off on the internet. If you have the guts, come over here and I will beat the shit out of you." As soon as Gao Yang said this, the viewers in the live broadcast room laughed so hard that they fell over. Xu Hongwei was so angry that he felt like he was slapped in the face in public. "You, just wait for me. Let's see if I'm real with you or not. Just wait, don't run away when the time comes." Chapter 22, Which Young Man Dares to Date My Daughter? At this moment, Xu Hongwei was soft all over except for his words. He glared at Gao Yang, then threw off his headphones and exited the live broadcast room. He knew that he had completely failed today. Not only did he lose his money, but he also failed to pick up a girl. In short, he failed to show off and ended up being the C. Xu Hongwei has never suffered such injustice since he was a child. He can't just let it go like this. He must avenge this. On the other side, Gao Yang yawned lazily and then exited the live broadcast room. In his opinion, today's PK was really worth it. Not only did he teach the arrogant Shark King a lesson, but he also made a lot of money. He checked his account balance and saw the extra 200 million. He nodded contentedly and said to himself, "It seems like I need to do more PKs like this in the future. It's so easy to make money." At this time, Gao Yang received another message from Lin Wanner. "Brother Gao Yang, you were too impulsive today. This is 100 million. I will return the money to you later." After witnessing Gao Yang's lavish spending, Lin Wanner was moved but also a little scared. Although Lin Wanner's family is not short of money and being a host is just a hobby, but such a large amount of money as 100 million is probably not something even her father can easily come up with. However, Gao Yang was well versed in the art of controlling women. He waved his hand calmly. "It's too polite to ask for a refund. I gave you so many gifts, you don't understand what I mean, do you?" After hearing Gao Yang's teasing words, Lin Wanner's fair face instantly turned red. "Oh, brother Gao Yang, you are so mean, I am not ready yet." Ding, Lin Wanner's favorability +5, the current favorability means congratulations to their host for gaining an ultimate licker. A licker who reaches this level will obey their host's words and automatically make up for it. At the same time, their host is rewarded with an obedience card. After using this card, you can designate a target and order it to do anything. Oh! There is such a good thing. Gao Yang was a little excited. If he used this car to get girls to move bricks, wouldn't he become a contractor? Don't think I don't know what you are thinking. No SS. Smirk.jpg. However, Lin Wana completely misunderstood Gao Yang's meaning, thinking that he fell in love with her and wanted to have a sweet love affair with her. Oh, no, why do I feel a little hot? I have to take a cold shower. Does this count as brother Gao Yang confessing his feelings to me? If that's the case, then I have to report this to my dad to prevent him from causing trouble later. After saying that, Lin Wana called her father, Lin Jingyao. At this moment, Lin Jingyao was in a meeting at the company. His Lin Group was a medium-sized enterprise in Jinghai City, and his net worth was several hundred million. After receiving Lin Wana's call, Lin Jingyao jumped up from his chair in the conference room. What? Nan, you are in love. Who is the other person? Is it the yellow-haired guy riding a will-o'-the-wisp? I'm warning you, if it's that kind of shady guy, I will break his legs sooner or later. When Lin Wana heard this, she quickly explained to her father. But Lin Jingyao was still a little skeptical. No, bring him to our house some other day and I'll check him out for you first. In fact, Lin Jingyao's feelings can be understood. After all, he is a parent. Lin Wana's mother died early, and he has to play the role of both father and mother. He is afraid that the good cabbages he raised will be eaten by pigs. Oh, I get it, Dad. The signal here is bad, so I won't chat with you anymore, beep. After saying that, Lin Wana hung up the phone. Gao Yang in the dormitory naturally didn't know about this. At this moment, his tigerfish backstage had been flooded with private messages. Typical rich man, please support me. Brother, can you please stop being so stuck on gender? I can actually do some things. Little handsome boy, do you think my sister's new Balenciaga clothes are nice? There's also Valentino. Not only that, many gold diggers also sent their own photos directly, and each of them was dressed very sexy. After Gao Yang read it several times, he quickly turned off his phone and silently recited the meditation formula. Restraint, color is emptiness is color, there is emptiness and color, there is emptiness and color. There is no way. The temptation of the internet is too great. Gao Yang feels that his weaknesses are being frequently challenged. Using this to test Carter's. Then he may not be able to bear it. But even if Gao Yang turned off his phone, he still couldn't resist the crazy increase in the number of fans behind the scenes, and the number of fans soon exceeded 5 million. Some die-hard fans even formed the Yu family army to cheer for Gao Yang crazily, and Gao Yang's reputation as the richest man on the internet gradually spread. Of course, this is all a story for later. At this time in dormitory 402, Shenhao started yelling again. Brothers, hurry up and go to the lecture hall for a meeting. There is great news. What news? I heard that our instructor has asked for leave, and a senior from the first year of graduate school will be in charge of us for a while. Do you know who this senior is? Who is it? Stop keeping me in suspense and tell me now. Zhang Ziqiang was a little impatient. Shenhao cupped his hands into a trumpet shape and said, It's our college's goddess senior Lan Ruoshi. His tilde. Hearing this name, Gao Yang behind Shenhao shuddered and felt a chill on his back. Fuck. Isn't this such a coincidence? When Gao Yang thought about the scene of meeting Lan Ruoshi later, he felt so embarrassed that his toes were about to be deducted for the 3-bedroom apartment. What's wrong, brother Yang? Are you not happy about meeting a beautiful senior? But I have to make it clear, senior Lan is mine, and no one of you can snatch her from me. Zhang Ziqiang couldn't help but give him a blank look. I say, Haozi, you have to know yourself. Why don't you take a piss and look at yourself? If I were a woman, and you chased me naked for 2 kilometers and I turned my head once, I would be considered a hooligan. Qin Yo said in a muffled voice. Har, I agree too. Shenhao was a little unhappy and immediately fought back. Brother Qiang, let's stop talking about each other. First, look at your wrinkled face and big belly. I think if Mr. Zhu Guanxian saw you, he would definitely give up his research in aesthetics. Har. Shenhao's curse words without using any dirty words made Gao Yang and Qin Yo burst into laughter. Even Zhang Ziqiang himself couldn't help scratching his head and laughing. The dormitory was filled with a happy atmosphere. He glanced at the green water ghost on his wrist and said, "Okay, it's getting late, let's go. I want to see if this so-called art goddess Lan Ruoshi is as pretty as the rumors say." Chapter 23. If you need any physical work, just call me anytime. Soon, Gao Yang and the other three arrived at the lecture hall of the Academy of Art. The lecture hall was already full of people, all whispering and talking, obviously talking about the incoming substitute senior Lan Ruoshi. Gao Yang's appearance instantly attracted the girls' attention. As soon as Gao Yang walked into the lecture hall, it was as if a bright star had descended into the mortal world. His slender figure stood upright like a green pine, and a high-end casual suit made him look even more extraordinary. His handsome face, sharp eyebrows, bright eyes, high nose bridge, and a faint smile on the corners of his mouth made the females feel like a spring breeze blowing on their faces. The girls' eyes were all focused on Gao Yang, and whispers were heard one after another. "Wow, that boy is so handsome, is he also a freshman?" "Yeah, I think he's more handsome than those stars." "Don't you know? He is the freshman who became popular when he registered for school." "I didn't expect that he is from the art department." "Sisters, what should I do? I really want to be romantic with him." "I'll be more romantic and he'll be slower." The girls' discussions became louder and louder, and some even took out their cell phones to secretly take photos of Gao Yang. All the boys were so envious of Jill that their eyes turned purple. Gao Yang was already accustomed to this kind of scene. He calmly found a seat and sat down, then started chatting with Zhang Ziqiang and others around him. Zhang Ziqiang and the others were also somewhat amused by the attention Gao Yang attracted. Zhang Ziqiang patted Gao Yang on the shoulder and said, "Brother Yang, you are so charming. I think we don't need to wait for any seniors. You can just hold a fun meeting here." "Yes, Brother Yang, the future of our brother's lifelong affairs will be entrusted to you. You choose first." "Don't worry, we are not picky." Gao Yang shook his head, not knowing whether to laugh or cry. "Go away, don't make fun of me, I'm a serious person." As he was speaking, the door of the lecture hall was suddenly pushed open and a beautiful figure walked in. Everyone looked and saw that the person coming was tall, wearing a white dress, with long hair draped over her shoulders, and had an elegant temperament. Her facial features are as delicate as a painting, her skin is as white as snow, and her eyes, in particular, seem to contain the stars and the sea, making people unable to take their eyes away. "Damn it, it's Senior Lan. Senior is so beautiful, she is 100 times prettier than in the photo. Okay, I've decided. From now on, I will marry no one but Senior Sister Lan and Liu Fei." The crowd started talking again, but this time the target was Lan Ruoshi, who had just walked into the lecture hall. Gao Yang also looked up and saw Lan Ruoshi smiling and nodding to everyone, then walked up to the podium. She swept her eyes through the crowd and suddenly looked at Gao Yang in the back row. She was stunned and muttered to herself, am I dreaming? He looks like, wait, it looks like him. Oh my god." At this moment, Lan Ruoshi couldn't help but think of those cheesy words like husband that she called in Gao Yang's ear when she was drunk that day. Her face turned red and she wished she could find a hole in the ground to crawl into immediately. In fact, although Lan Ruoshi is beautiful, she is a virgin solo. She is the type of person who is introverted and has never even held a boy's hand in real life. That day, I had a sudden urge to experience some excitement, so I went to the bar to get drunk, and ended up meeting Gao Yang. In fact, it was the first time that Lan Ruoshi got drunk in her life. She didn't expect that she had such a bad drinking behavior and actually drank Gao Yang directly. As a result, when Lan Ruoshi woke up, she was stunned, because she saw that the sleeping Gao Yang seemed younger than her, and thought he was a minor, so she quickly packed up her things, threw down a stack of bills and ran away. Lan Ruoshi thought that the world was so big and she might never meet him again, but she didn't expect that fate would play such a trick on her, and Gao Yang turned out to be her direct junior. At this time, Gao Yang touched his nose awkwardly, thinking crazily in his heart. "You didn't recognize me, you didn't recognize me, you didn't recognize me." But in fact, both of them knew it well. The atmosphere was silent for a few seconds. Gao Yang raised his head and met Lan Ruoshi's gaze. This time, it was like a turtle looking at a mung bean, and their eyes met. Lan Ruoshi had no choice but to clear her throat strategically, and then introduced. "Ahem. Hello, classmates. My name is Lan Ruoshi. I'm your first-year graduate student. Your counselor has to take a few days off for some personal matters, so he has entrusted me to help you with the admission matters. I hope you can forgive me if there are any shortcomings. Quack, quack. Seeing the goddess senior being so humble, the freshman responded with warm applause. Actually, there are three main things to do after school starts. One is the election of class leaders, another is military training, and the third is the welcome party. So let's complete the first thing, which is the election of class leaders. Can our classmates introduce themselves first? The famous Iman Zhongziqiang immediately raised his hand. He was a show-off and always liked big scenes with many people. Zhongziqiang walked up to the podium, put his hands behind his back, and stuck out his big belly, looking like a leader. Hello everyone, my name is Zhongziqiang, and you can call me Qiangzi. I like making friends, but I don't care whether they are rich or not, because they are not as rich as me anyway. Before he finished speaking, Zhongziqiang noticed Gao Yang's gaze, so he quickly changed the subject. Of course, except for someone. Anyway, if you need help, just come to me. Bang bang bang. There was a sparse applause from the audience. Zhongziqiang scratched his head and added, I'll treat everyone to a meal some other day. A seafood buffet. Well said, support. Brother Chung is awesome, I vote for you. It doesn't matter whether we have dinner or not, the main thing is to make friends with Brother Chung. There was an immediate cheer from the audience. The next person to come on stage was Shenhao. Shenhao was wearing a pair of glasses with frames thicker than the bottom of a beer bottle. He spoke in a very literary tone. My last name is Shen, my name is Hao, I am male, and I like girls. Like Qiangzi, I also like making friends. Of course, I mainly like making friends of the opposite sex. If there are any beautiful women who like poetry, songs, calligraphy, painting, etc., you can come to me to communicate. It must be a beautiful woman. A tilde. Before Shenhao finished speaking, he was booed by the crowd. Hey, your husband. A girl with a ponytail teased the girl with bangs next to her. Nonsense, he's obviously your husband. The girl with bangs immediately retorted. The third one was Qin Yo, who was tall, honest-looking, and muscular. He won the favor of several girls as soon as he came on stage. Actually, this handsome guy is pretty good. That's the style I like. I like this kind of muscular man. It would be absolutely exciting to date him. But Qin Yo lost his temper as soon as he opened his mouth. Hello classmates, my name is Qin Yo. I don't have any special skills, but I can eat a lot. I like to work out. If you need any physical work, feel free to call me. Chapter 24, Two Hobbies of Men. Har har, brother Qin Yo, can you come to our girls' dormitory to unclog the sewers when you have time? The brave girl teased. Qin Yo doesn't spend much time online, so of course he doesn't know what the words mean, so he just said, no problem, I'm the best at clearing sewers, call me anytime. Har 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 har. Everyone burst into laughter. Then everyone introduced themselves one after another, and the last one to come on stage was Gao Yang. Gao Yang stood up and walked to the podium slowly. He did not introduce himself in a long speech like others, but said only one sentence concisely. Hello everyone, my name is Gao Yang, and I hope to get along happily with you all in the next few years. And the moment he opened his mouth, the entire lecture hall seemed to fall silent, with everyone's eyes focused on him. So handsome, and so charming. His profile looks a bit like Zunlong. The girls were whispering to each other with stars twinkling in their eyes, while the boys were secretly gritting their teeth, and their back teeth were broken one by one. Lan Ruoshi was also a little dazed. Because she was too drunk in the bar that day, she didn't look closely at Gao Yang's appearance. She didn't expect that the boy who made her lose composure when drunk would be so handsome. Ding, Lan Ruoshi's favorability plus 20, current favorability, 40. She couldn't help feeling a little flustered, and quickly retracted her gaze, coughed lightly, and said, Ahem, Mr. Gao Yang, do you have any special skills or any position you want to run for? Gao Yang smiled slightly and said, as for my specialties, I am good at singing, dancing, rap and basketball. As for positions, I have no intention of running for one. It is easier without an official position. Har 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 har. Laughter broke out again in the lecture hall. Everyone was amused by Gao Yang. Lan Ruoshi couldn't help but chuckle with her hands covering her mouth. She didn't expect Gao Yang to be so humorous. All right, everyone, stop making trouble and start voting. The counselor interrupted everyone's laughter at the right time and began to organize the voting. Soon, the voting results came out, and to everyone's surprise, Gao Yang was elected class monitor with an overwhelming advantage. Gao Yang was a little confused by the election results, so he had no choice but to go on stage and speak. Since everyone trusts me so much, I will accept this important task with reluctance. But I will say this in advance, as a squad leader, I will not put on airs, nor will I assign any weird tasks to you. I just hope that in the days ahead, we can live in harmony like a family, learn together, grow together, and have fun together. As soon as these words were spoken, thunderous applause broke out in the lecture hall. Lan Ruorshi looked at Gao Yang on the stage and couldn't help but feel a little more favorable towards him. She felt that Gao Yang was not only handsome, but also had a very likable personality. Such a boy was really hard to resist. Okay, the class leader election is over here. Next is the arrangement of military training and welcome party. I will send it to everyone's mailbox, please check it. After Lan Ruorshi finished speaking, she packed up and prepared to leave. Senior, wait a minute. Gao Yang suddenly shouted. Lan Ruorshi turned around and looked at Gao Yang in confusion. Senior, can you add me on WeChat? If you have any tasks, you can send them to me directly. Gao Yang said with a smile. Looking at his harmless appearance, it seemed as if he really didn't know Lan Ruorshi. It would be a waste of his talent if he wasn't awarded an Oscar for his acting skills. Lan Ruorshi was stunned for a moment, her heart pounding, then she nodded, took out her cell phone and added Gao Yang on WeChat. Okay, let's chat if you have anything. After Lan Ruorshi finished speaking, she turned around with a red face and left as if she was escaping. Gao Yang didn't mind. After all, he had successfully obtained the senior's WeChat number. He immediately sent a message. Senior Lan, you haven't forgotten me, have you? A full minute passed before I received Lan Ruorshi's reply. I could sense her nervousness through the screen. Brother, what are you talking about? Gao Yang raised his lips and continued to send messages. Strange, was it someone else who called me husband at Moon Hotel that day? Maybe I made a mistake. Lan Ruorshi instantly sent 3 big red exclamation marks. I'm sorry, Junior. I drank too much that night. You must not tell anyone about this, otherwise my reputation will be ruined. It can be seen that Lan Ruorshi is still very nervous at the moment, fearing that Gao Yang will reveal the little secret between them. However, Gao Yang still quite likes the contrast of his senior sister. Who would have thought that the school beauty goddess who is cold and aloof in front of everyone actually has such an unknown side? It is said that all men have 2 similar hobbies, persuading good women to go to the sea, and persuading young ladies to become good women. So Gao Yang quite likes the feeling of being teased by his senior schoolmate, just like teasing a kitten. Okay, I won't tell you, but you have to give me some hush money to keep quiet. Didn't I give it to you? Lan Ruorshi was a little angry. I don't want the money. If I take it, the nature of the relationship will change. Just treat me to a meal when you have time. After saying that, Gao Yang transferred the money to her. Lan Ruorshi hesitated for a few seconds, but still accepted the money. She decided to find time to have a good talk with Gao Yang. First, she would explain the reason to him, then appeal to his emotions. If the other party didn't buy it, she, Lan Ruorshi, who had also practiced taekwondo since childhood, would give Gao Yang a good beating then. Okay, I'll treat you to a meal some other day. It's such a happy decision. Gao Yang exited the chat box after he finished speaking. Then he found another phone and called. It was Park Ji-hyun, the personal assistant he brought back from Korea. As soon as the call was connected, an extremely charming voice came out. Young Master Yan, you finally remembered me. You didn't come to see me these past few days, you bad guy. Speak human language. Gao Yang couldn't understand Park Ji-hyun's mumbling Korean. Young Master Yan, are you looking for me to ask about the villa? I have already taken care of it. Really? You're quite capable. Gao Yang didn't expect that Park Ji-hyun was so efficient. Of course, I am very capable, I am the most capable. Park Ji-hyun started to brag about herself. Gao Yang didn't waste any more time talking to her and asked directly. Where is the selected villa? Take me there. Park Ji-hyun then immediately sent a location. The address was Media Bay, a villa area near the back mountain of Jinghai University. Gao Yang walked to the parking lot, opened the Koenigsegg's butterfly wing door and got in. Okay, you go first, I'll be there soon. Chapter 25 The Beautiful Housekeeper from an Island Country. 10 minutes later, Gao Yang drove a sports car to the Media Bay Villa area. The Yarmouth Bay Villa district is one of the top wealthy areas in Jinghai City. Each villa is uniquely designed and full of artistic atmosphere. The surrounding environment is even more intoxicatingly beautiful, with green trees, singing birds, fragrant flowers, and clear streams flowing slowly, as if you are in a fairyland on earth. Gao Yang's car slowly drove into the villa area and soon arrived in front of villa number 1 that Park Ji-hyun mentioned. The exterior of the villa is in an elegant European style. The off-white exterior walls sparkle in the sun, making it look particularly noble and elegant. The villa is surrounded by neatly trimmed lawns and lush trees, as well as a swimming pool with rippling blue water. After Gao Yang got off the car, Park Ji-hyun immediately came up to him with a smug smile on his face. Hee, young Master Yang, you are here. I chose this villa especially for you. I guarantee that you will be satisfied. Well, you've worked hard. I'll reward you tonight. Gao Yang nodded, didn't say anything more, and walked straight towards the villa. The sales manager of the villa area also came over in a dusty manner, bowed and said, Hello, Mr. Gao. I'm Wang Ming, the sales manager here. You can just call me Xiao Wang. I think you have a good eye. This villa number 1 is our top building. It has an excellent feng shui location. Can I take you inside to have a look? Gao Yang nodded slightly and followed the sales manager into the villa. As soon as you enter the gate of the villa, a luxurious atmosphere hits you. The spacious living room is furnished with exquisite European-style furniture, the soft sofa is covered with luxurious silk, and precious oil paintings are hung on the walls. Every detail shows extraordinary taste. The crystal chandelier on the ceiling shines brightly, emitting a soft light. Gao Yang looked around and nodded in praise. Not bad, I like the decoration and layout. That's good, Mr. Gao. This villa has 5 floors in total. The basement is the garage and entertainment room. The first floor is the living room, dining room and kitchen. The second floor is the bedroom and study. The third floor is the gym and yoga room. The fourth floor is the audio-visual room and terrace. There is also a back garden. Wang Ming introduced the layout of the villa to Gao Yang as they walked. Gao Yang walked to the floor-to-ceiling window in the living room and overlooked the scenery outside the window. The mountains in the distance were looming, as if the entire Jinghai city was at his feet. Living in such a villa can fully satisfy a man's desire for conquest. Wang Ming looked at Gao Yang's satisfied expression, secretly breathed a sigh of relief, and took the opportunity to introduce. Mr. Gao, this villa is not only elegant in appearance and luxurious in interior decoration, but more importantly, it is also equipped with many high-tech facilities to ensure that your life will be more comfortable and convenient. Gao Yang became interested when he heard this, turned around and looked at Wang Ming and asked, Oh? What kind of high-tech stuff is this? Wang Ming smiled slightly, walked to a round control console in the middle of the living room, and gently pressed a button. Mr. Gao, please look, this is the villa's intelligent central control system, which can control all electrical equipment in the villa with one click. As Wang Ming finished speaking, the lights in the living room slowly dimmed, the curtains were automatically drawn, and the sound system began to play soft music. The entire living room instantly turned into a warm and private space. Gao Yang's eyes flashed with admiration, and he nodded and said, Yes, this central control system is quite convenient. Wang Ming then took Gao Yang to visit other parts of the villa. For example, the smart mattress in the bedroom can automatically adjust the hardness and temperature according to the owner's sleeping habits. The smart bookshelf in the study can automatically classify and organize books for the owner to find them easily. The smart fitness equipment in the gym can monitor the owner's exercise data in real time and give professional fitness advice. Gao Yang listened with great interest and nodded in praise from time to time. Finally, Wang Ming brought Gao Yang to the back garden of the villa. Mr. Gao, there is also a high-tech facility in this back garden. That is our intelligent irrigation system. Wang Ming pointed to a patch of lush flowers and plants and said, This system can automatically adjust the amount of watering and fertilizer according to the weather and plant growth to ensure the healthy growth of plants. Young Master Yan, are you satisfied with this place? The market price of this villa is 108 million. If you pay in full, we can give you an internal price, rounding off the zeros. How about 100 million? Wang Ming asked cautiously from the side. Gao Yang nodded and said lightly. Not bad, let's take this one. Wang Ming was overjoyed when he heard this and said quickly. Okay, I'll go and handle the formalities for you right away. Wang Ming was extremely efficient and helped Gao Yang complete the purchase procedures for the villa in less than half an hour. Gao Yang signed his name on the contract, then took out a bank card and handed it to Wang Ming. Wang Ming took the bank card and smiled as brightly as a chrysanthemum. Mr. Gao, I will deliver the keys and related documents to you later. Accompanied by Wang Ming, Gao Yang completed the purchase procedures for the villa. Ding, congratulations to their host for successfully spending 100 million, and you will get a random rebate of 5 times, a reward of 500 million yuan. At the same time, an evil capitalist in the Eagle Source country has gone bankrupt and jumped off a building. After everything was settled, Wang Ming seemed to have something else to say. He approached Gao Yang slightly mysteriously and whispered. By the way, Mr. Gao, in addition to the villa itself, we have a special gift for you. Gao Yang raised his eyebrows, showing a curious look. Oh? What gift? Wang Ming said mysteriously. Mr. Gao, we have arranged an excellent housekeeper for you. Her name is Ishihara Masami. She is a beautiful woman from an island country. She is not only outstanding in appearance, but also very capable. I think she will definitely satisfy you. Gao Yang heard this, a hint of interest flashed in his eyes, and said. Oh? An island beauty? Where is she? Wang Ming was overjoyed when he saw Gao Yang agreed, and said quickly. Okay, Mr. Gao, I'll arrange it right away. Not long after, Wang Ming came over with a girl in maid clothes. The girl looked to be in her early 20s, with long, smooth black hair draped over her shoulders, eyes as clear as water, skin as white as snow, and she was so cute that one couldn't help but want to pinch her little face. She was wearing a pink maid outfit, the hem of her skirt swaying gently, revealing a pair of long and slender legs. She wore a white apron tied around her chest, which was embroidered with a cute little bear pattern, adding a touch of playfulness and cuteness. Mr. Gao, this is Ishihara Masami, your new housekeeper. Wang Ming introduced. Ishihara Masami bowed slightly and said in a sweet voice. Hello Mr. Gao, I am your housekeeper Ishihara Masami, please give me your guidance in the future. Chapter 26. Do you want to put on some lipstick? Ding, a beautiful girl has appeared. Name, Ishihara Masami. Age, 20. Appearance, 90. Measurements, 68, 44, 74. Number of sockets used, 0. Hobbies, 2D, cooking, and giving massages to the owner. Gao Yang looked at Ishihara Masami, a hint of satisfaction flashed in his eyes, and he nodded and said. Not bad, what skills do you have? Ishihara Masami blushed, lowered her eyes, and replied in a soft voice in not very fluent Chinese. Mr. Gao, I am good at all kinds of housework, including cooking, cleaning and tidying up. In addition, I have learned professional massage techniques and can help you relieve your fatigue. When Gao Yang heard this, his heart moved. He was indeed a little tired today, and the thought of having such a beautiful and capable housekeeper made him look forward to it. So Gao Yang smiled and said. Oh? Then give me a massage now. I happen to be a little tired. Upon hearing this, Ishihara Masami showed a delighted expression on her face, and nodded quickly and said. Okay, young Master Yan, please go to the bathroom and take a shower first. I'll go get ready too. Gao Yang nodded, turned and walked towards the bathroom, showered for 10 minutes and walked out. After taking a shower, Gao Yang's whole temperament seemed to be refreshed. Water droplets slid down his hair and skin, exuding a faint scent of shower gel. Wearing a loose bathrobe with a belt casually tied around the waist, he showed a lazy and casual style. His slender and powerful legs, barefoot on the soft carpet, seemed to exude the scent of masculine hormones with every step. When Ishihara Masami saw this scene, a hint of surprise flashed in her eyes. Although she is a trained professional housekeeper, she is still a young girl after all. Naturally, she is attracted to Gao Yang's masculine figure. Ding, Ishihara Masami's favorability plus 40, current favorability, 40. She suppressed the throbbing in her heart, walked forward, and said with a smile. Young Master Yan, are you done washing? Then I will start to give you a massage. Upon hearing this, Ishihara Masami's pretty face blushed slightly, and then she led Gao Yang into a massage room in the villa. The massage room is filled with a faint lavender scent, the lighting is soft, and the sunlight coming through the floor-to-ceiling windows shines on the exquisite massage bed. Ishihara Masami asked Gao Yang to lie on the massage bed, then she knelt beside the bed, gently pressed on Gao Yang's shoulders, and began to knead slowly and forcefully. Young Master Yan, I will start with your shoulders, which is usually where people feel most tired. Ishihara Masami spoke softly, her voice was like a spring breeze, making people feel soothed. Gao Yang closed his eyes and enjoyed Ishihara Masami's massage. He felt his muscles gradually relax under her hands and his fatigue also dissipated bit by bit. Ishihara Masami's technique is professional and skillful. Sometimes she presses gently with her palms, sometimes she kneads finely with her fingertips, and sometimes she taps lightly with her fists. Every touch is just right, making Gao Yang feel extremely comfortable. Young Master Yang, how do you feel? Is the strength appropriate? Ishihara Masami asked while massaging. Yes, your technique is quite professional. Hearing Gao Yang's praise, Ishihara Masami showed a happy smile on her face and said, as long as you are satisfied, young Master Yang, I will continue to work hard. Would you like a glass of red wine? Well, have a drink. Gao Yang nodded. Ishihara Masami immediately stood up and poured wine for Gao Yang. Young Master Yang, this is the Merlot produced by Chateau Petrus in 1998. It has been kept in the wine cellar. Gao Yang took the wine glass and took a sip carefully. The red wine flowed slowly in his mouth, with a rich fruity aroma and a slight oak flavor. Gao Yang closed his eyes and let the mellow taste spread in his mouth. This wine is good. It has a vintage and a story. He praised. When Ishihara Masami heard Gao Yang's praise, she felt delighted. She smiled and said, young Master Yang, you really understand wine. After that, she continued to massage Gao Yang, and soon Gao Yang completely relaxed and fell into a deep sleep. When he woke up again, Gao Yang found himself lying on a comfortable big bed. Dear Master Naru, what is the master? Gao Yang was startled by a soft female voice. He turned around and saw a woman in a bunny girl costume kneeling in front of him. It was Ishihara Masami. Oh my god! Why am I here? Gao Yang jumped up suddenly. Ishihara Satomi said aggrievedly. Young Master Yang, you drank a little last night and then fell asleep. Gao Yang quickly looked down at little Gao Yang and breathed a sigh of relief when he found that everything was fine. Yami, nothing happened between us, right? Hearing Gao Yang's words, Ishihara Satomi said shyly. No, you're overthinking it. Maybe you were too tired yesterday and fell asleep after drinking a glass of wine. Then I helped you to bed. That's good. Gao Yang breathed a sigh of relief. But a gentleman like me would never do anything out of line. Gao Yang particularly emphasized the 4 words, gentleman. By the way, master, would you like to eat something? I made a loving breakfast for you. Hey, you can also make a loving breakfast. Then have some. After hearing this, Ishihara Masami hurried over to bring over the breakfast she had made, which was a bacon and vegetable sandwich, 2 fried eggs, and a bowl of bird's nest porridge. The fried eggs were thoughtfully shaped into a heart. Ishihara Masami tied a napkin for Gao Yang and fed him personally. Gao Yang couldn't help but sigh. The life of rich people is so boring, but it feels pretty good to be fed by others. Master, please stop moving. Open your mouth. Tilde. Ishihara Masami served diligently and Gao Yang also cooperated and finished his breakfast. Master, I see your lips are a little dry, would you like to apply some lipstick? Lipstick? Then put some on. Gao Yang hasn't reacted yet. Okay. Ishihara Masami finished speaking, stood up and pressed her lips tightly against his. Chapter 27, Real Men Rely on Their Talents to Pick Up Girls. Deleted. Faced with the enemy's sudden attack, the determined Gao Yang struggled for a moment and then gave up resistance. 3 hours later, the battle was over. This fierce battle ended with Ishihara Masami's surrender and begging for mercy. Then Gao Yang asked her to change her clothes and read a long speech of surrender in the Japanese language paid content. Then the anti-R campaign ended perfectly. Ding, Ishihara Masami's worship value plus 40, current worship value, 80, successfully promoted to their host's high-level liquor, rewarded the host with their top singing skill. Top singing. Gao Yang felt the music knowledge and singing skills suddenly emerge in his mind, as if a whole new door had opened. Before this, Gao Yang could be said to be tone deaf, and his singing was only slightly better than a dog's barking. He closed his eyes, and the notes, melodies, and harmonies jumped and intertwined in his mind, forming beautiful pieces of music. Gao Yang saw a guitar hanging on the wall. He walked over, gently took down the guitar, sat on the edge of the bed, tuned it, then took a deep breath and began to play. The sound of the guitar filled the air, soft and gentle at first, like a morning breeze brushing across Ishihara Masami's cheek. She was originally packing things, but was attracted by the sudden sound of music. She involuntarily stopped what she was doing and looked at Gao Yang. Gao Yang's fingers danced on the strings of the guitar, and the notes flowed out from his fingertips like water. Then Gao Yang's voice began to flow out along with the melody of the guitar. The singing was clear and emotional, as if it could penetrate people's hearts. That laughter reminds me of my flowers, Tilda. In every corner of my life, it quietly opens for me, Tilda. I thought I would always be by her side, Tilda. Today we have left in the vast sea of people, Tilda. They are all old, Tilda. Where are they, Tilda? Luckily, I was there to help them open up, Tilda. La la la, la la, I miss her, Tilda. La la la, la la, is she still driving, Tilda? La 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 la, go, Tilda. They have been blown away by the wind and scattered across the world, Tilda. Ding, Ishihara Masami's favorability plus 5, current favorability, 85. Ishihara Masami was completely shocked. She had never heard such a moving singing voice, nor had she ever seen anyone play the guitar so well. She stood there, staring at Gao Yang intently, her eyes almost tearing. When the song ended, Gao Yang opened his eyes and looked at Ishihara Masami. She was still standing there, as if still immersed in the music just now. Gao Yang smiled slightly, gently put down the guitar, and said, "Does it sound good?" Ishihara Satomi nodded vigorously. "It sounds great, so great. Master, you are amazing. What's the name of this song? Did you write it yourself?" Gao Yang shook his head. "No, this was written by Pu Shu. Have you heard his songs? Horse, tree. Is it a plant?" Ishihara Satomi searched desperately in her mind for a while, and finally shook her head. "No, master. Actually, I am quite obsessed with your Chinese music. When I was learning Chinese, I basically listened to all the popular songs, but I have never heard this one." "Huh? Impossible, Pu Shu is very famous." Gao Yang opened the Sagu Music app on his phone, ready to teach Ishihara Satomi about his songs, but was surprised to find that Pu Shu did not appear in the music library. Not only is he missing, but even top Chinese musicians like Zhu Jiluan, Dr. Chen, Xu Shangao, and Xue Jiqian are all missing. What dominated the charts were pop singers like Pang Meilang and songs like My Skateboard Shoes and Learn to Meow. Even the top superstar who had been practicing for 2.5 years was nowhere to be found in this space and time. What is going on? At this moment, the playful image of Zayo appeared in front of Gao Yang. "Host, you have traveled to a parallel time and space. The culture, art, and music here may be different from those on Earth." "I see. But to be honest, the music level of Blue Star is too low, isn't it? In the past, any song by Jay Chou could beat them." Gao Yang felt a little indignant. It was really an insult to the ears for the people on Blue Star to listen to these crappy songs every day. "How about I release my first album? It will definitely take the Chinese music scene by storm." An idea popped up in Gao Yang's mind, but he rejected it immediately. Forget it, forget it. I'm not short of money now, so why should I go to such trouble for such a small thing? I'd better just be a rich second generation." Gao Yang suddenly remembered a joke on the internet, saying that a certain Mi Lei always had a sudden inspiration one day, read some cool novels on the internet, and finally sighed. "This cool article isn't cool at all. So when Gao Yang had a strong family background, money, and even a system, he no longer had any interest in entering the entertainment industry to make money. Because no matter how much money a star singer makes, a few hundred million at most a year, but Gao Yang made 100 million in just one live broadcast. Not only that, he can also earn another 200 million, so naturally he won't take the little money earned from releasing records seriously. But then again, you can use this information gap to pick up girls. Top beauties like talented men the most. Writing a love song like Confession Balloon for them, wouldn't that be a piece of cake? Har har, Gao Yang, I'm such a genius. At this time, Gao Yang's cell phone rang. It was Zhang Ziqian calling. Hey, brother Yang. Our freshman military training has already begun. Where have you, the squad leader, gone? It was then that Gao Yang remembered that he should go and get the military training supplies for the class today and then distribute them to everyone. However, because Ishihara Masami's massage yesterday was so great, Gao Yang forgot about it. Got it. I'll rush back right away. Qiangzi, please help me deal with it first. Okay, brother Yang, everyone is waiting for you. After saying this, Gao Yang put on his coat, picked up his car keys and prepared to leave. I'm leaving, Yarmei. Please take care of this place. Okay, master, take care. Xiamai will be waiting for you to come back tilde. Ishihara Masami bent down 90 degrees and respectfully saw Gao Yang off. Gao Yang drove the Koenigsegg to a Shanghai young lady milk tea shop, a milk tea brand that is very popular among college students. Hello sir, what would you like to order? The sales lady asked with a smile. Make 80 cups of your most expensive and thirst-quenching milk tea. I want to take it away. 80 cups. The clerk was a little surprised. You know, the most expensive item here is about 40 yuan a cup, and 80 cups is 3,200 yuan. Most people rarely dare to spend that much. Yes, as soon as possible, with lots of ice. Chapter 28. Young people today are too weak. Gao Yang looked at his watch. He ordered so many drinks because the men and women teams of the Academy of Arts had a total of about 80 people. As the class monitor, he was late, so he had to show some respect. Soon, Gao Yang opened the hood of the Koenigsegg with 2 full bags of drinks, stuffed them into the storage box, and then drove away in a cloud of dust. At the same time, under the scorching sun, the freshmen who were undergoing military training on the playground of Jinghai University were about to collapse, and they began to complain one by one. Damn, it's too hot today, please be merciful, instructor. Alas, I guess I'll be tan like an African native after 2 weeks of military training. I can't do it anymore, I'm hot, tired and thirsty, which Godfather brought some water. Just give me a sip. Just when everyone was about to faint from the heat, a roar suddenly came from far away, and everyone turned their heads to see a cool sports car slowly driving into the playground and stopped not far from the square. The car door opened, Gao Yang, wearing sunglasses, got out of the car with a handsome face. He looked around, then waved and shouted. Brothers, I'm here to bring you supplies. As he said that, Gao Yang walked to the side of the car, opened the front hood, took out 2 large bags of drinks from it, and then walked towards the square. Squad leader, it's the squad leader who's here. Seeing Gao Yang, someone in the square shouted in surprise. Wow, squad leader, you're finally here. Squad leader, you finally showed up. If you don't come again, we'll be dried up. Squad leader is mighty, squad leader is domineering. Everyone shouted. Gao Yang smiled and walked to the front of the square, put 2 large bags of drinks on the ground, and then said loudly. Everyone has worked hard. This is the milk tea I bought for everyone. 1 cup for each person. If it's not enough, take more. As he spoke, Gao Yang began to distribute milk tea to everyone, 1 cup for each person. Wow, it's the mango sago from Shanghai young lady, my favorite flavor. Squad leader is so awesome. I love you, squad leader. Squad leader, you are like my second parents. Please accept my greetings. After getting the milk tea, everyone smiled happily and thanked Gao Yang. Har har, you're welcome. Gao Yang said with a smile. At this time, the instructor next to him asked with some dissatisfaction. Hey, which college are you from? Gao Yang picked up a cup of milk tea and handed it over. Sorry, instructor, I'm also a freshman at the School of Art. I was late today because of something. The instructor's name is Ju Erhyu, a graduate student in the Department of Physical Education. He often led freshmen in military training before. He frowned and didn't take the milk tea. Don't try to bribe me, I won't take it. And as for being late, I won't do it again. Hurry back to the team. Gao Yang spread his hands and didn't explain much. In fact, Ju Erhyu was already very upset with Gao Yang. What he couldn't stand the most was this kind of rich dandy. He glanced at the Koenigsegg parked on the side of the road and thought, "Stinky boy, do you want to get privileges just because your family is rich? I'll train you well." Ju Erhyu looked at Gao Yang's delicate appearance and thought that his physical fitness must not be very good, so he came up with a plan. It just so happened that he had just led this group of freshmen and needed to establish his prestige in everyone's hearts, so he said loudly, "You young people nowadays are weaker than each other. You can't stand standing in military posture for such a long time. Stand up, don't let me look down on you." Sure enough, some troublemakers began to mutter in a low voice, "TSK, you are still talking about me, as if you are so great." Ju Erhyu looked around at everyone and said, "Sorry, someone may have misunderstood just now. I didn't mean to target any individual. I meant that everyone present here is a loser." Hearing Ju Erhyu's words, more people began to be dissatisfied. "Instructor, what you said is a bit wrong, isn't it? That's right, you can't look down on people like that. You're right, we are not trash." Ju Erhyu saw that they had fallen into the trap, so he smiled. "Why, who of you wants to compete with me? If you win, I exempted all his training in the past 2 weeks." Hearing the instructor's words, there was a new student and immediately eager to try, but Tijiro talked on Tuesday, but the ugly words are in the front. If you lose, take the initiative to run around the playground for 10 laps. Men, whoever said, we have to say that, we are more than ingenious. The face red ears and red, and did not accept the word, is it a dead muscles? I only know. After speaking, he greeted his sleeve. Chinyo was not to be outdone and immediately reached out his hand. The two men held hands tightly, and a contest was about to begin. Let's start. At Ju Erhyu's command, the two men immediately exerted their strength in their arms and began to compete. At first, Chinyo seemed to be at ease. His arm muscles were tense and his veins were bulging. He seemed to want to break Ju Erhyu's wrist in one fell swoop. However, Ju Erhyu seemed to be at ease. His arm was as steady as a rock, and he seemed not to be affected by Chinyo's strength at all. "HMPH, is that all you have?" Ju Erhyu said disdainfully. Chinyo was furious when he heard this. He increased his strength and tried to press Ju Erhyu's wrist down. However, Ju Erhyu was like a mountain, steadily bearing Chinyo's strength, and even had the strength to fight back. "Boy, let you try the strength of a real man," Ju Erhyu said lightly. At this moment, he suddenly exerted his strength, and a powerful force came out of his arm, instantly pressing Chinyo's wrist down. "Fuck!" Chinyo exclaimed. His arm was almost unable to move due to Ju Erhyu's strength. Everyone exclaimed when they saw this. They didn't expect Ju Erhyu's strength to be so strong that even a strong man like Chinyo couldn't be his opponent. "You lose." Ju Erhyu let go of his hand and said lightly. Chinyo's face flushed. He couldn't accept this result. He had clearly used all his strength, but in the end he was easily crushed by Ju Erhyu. Oh my god, is Instructor Ju so powerful? Chapter 29. I don't want you to think, I want me to think. I heard that he is a famous arm wrestling champion in the sports department, and he has also practiced slender. We are really no match for him. Okay, I give in. The instructor is really good. The other troublemakers were no match for the muscular man Chinyo, and they all became cowards. Ju Erhyu deliberately glanced at Gao Yang behind the square formation, as if saying, "It's nothing to have a few stinky money. I have the final say here." Gao Yang didn't want to argue with Ju Erhyu, but the contentious look made him uncomfortable. Gao Yang didn't cause trouble, but he wasn't afraid of it either. He pushed aside the people in front of him and walked out, rolled up his sleeves and said, "Come on, instructor, let me compete with you." Ju Erhyu looked at Gao Yang, with a hint of surprise in his eyes. He didn't expect that this guy who looked delicate and tender would dare to challenge him. "You? Are you sure you want to compete with me?" Ju Erhyu asked with some disdain. Gao Yang nodded and said, Yes, I want to try. Zhu Erhu raised a sneer at the corner of his mouth, and he stretched out his big hand and made an arm wrestling gesture. Gao Yang was not to be outdone. He walked forward, stretched out his hand, and tightly grasped Zhu Erhu's palm. The two men immediately exerted force in their arms and began to compete. At first, Zhu Erhu did not take Gao Yang seriously. He thought his strength could easily crush Gao Yang. However, he soon found that things were not that simple. Although Gao Yang's arm muscles did not look so developed, they contained amazing power. Of course, this was due to the credit of the system. After the enhancement, Gao Yang's physical fitness had far exceeded the human limit. Zhu Erhu began to feel a little tired, his arm muscles began to tighten, and sweat began to appear on his forehead. How is this possible? Zhu Erhu was secretly surprised. He increased his strength and tried to press Gao Yang's wrist down. However, no matter how hard he tried, Gao Yang's wrist always supported his strength steadily, without any sign of shaking. "Instructor, it's my turn," Gao Yang said lightly. Just then, he suddenly exerted force, and a strong force came out from his arm. Zhu Erhu only felt a huge force coming, and his arm was instantly pressed down by Gao Yang. "No. Impossible. Absolutely impossible," Zhu Erhu exclaimed, with an expression of disbelief on his face. Seeing this, everyone exclaimed, Gao Yang actually won. This is unscientific. Instructor Zhu is the champion of arm wrestling in the whole city. This squad leader is too powerful, he is so hidden. Everyone talked about it, surprised and admired Gao Yang's strength. Zhu Erhu's face was a little ugly. He didn't expect that he would lose to Gao Yang. However, he is an instructor after all, and he can't lose face in front of the freshman. He snorted coldly, rubbing his aching wrist and said, "Just now I had a cramp and lost because I was careless. Do you dare to compete in something else?" Gao Yang raised his eyebrows to show that he was happy to accompany him. Zhu Erhu stood up and stretched his muscles. "Boy, what's the use of just being strong? It's all dead muscles. How about we have a fight?" At this time, Zhang Ziqian came over and said, "Brother Yang, I heard that this guy is a slender practitioner. It's better not to fight him. I'm afraid you will suffer." Gao Yang nodded to show that he knew what he was doing. "No problem, instructor, make a move." Zhu Erhu was secretly proud when he saw Gao Yang nod in agreement. He claimed to be a slender master. Although he was a little domineering at ordinary times, he did have some real skills in boxing and kicking. He confidently believed that as long as Gao Yang dared to fight him, he could easily subdue him. "Here it comes!" Zhu Erhu shouted, and suddenly launched a punch towards Gao Yang's chest. This punch was powerful and heavy. If it hit, an ordinary person would probably fall on the spot. However, Gao Yang seemed to have expected it. He slightly turned sideways and easily avoided Zhu Erhu's attack. "What?" Zhu Erhu exclaimed. He didn't expect Gao Yang's reaction to be so quick. Just when he was stunned, Gao Yang suddenly made a move and kicked him hard in the stomach. Bang! With a muffled sound, Zhu Erhu felt a huge force coming, and his body flew out in an instant and fell heavily to the ground. A trace of blood flowed from Zhu Erhu's mouth, and his face turned pale in an instant. Seeing this, everyone exclaimed, "Oh my god, Gao Yang actually beat Instructor Zhu until he vomited blood. This is incredible. Has the squad leader practiced martial arts before? This guy is even more powerful than Bruce Lee." Zhang Ziqiang and others stared at Gao Yang in amazement. They didn't expect Gao Yang to be so powerful. Gao Yang stood there, looking at Zhu Erhu lying on the ground expressionlessly, as if all this was within his expectations. Just then, a burst of hurried footsteps came, and everyone looked closely and saw that it was the dean who came with several teachers. Hey, what happened?" The dean's name was Meng Dehua. He looked at Zhu Erhu lying on the ground with an ugly face. It turned out that Meng Dehua came to inspect the military training of the freshmen just now, and happened to encounter Zhu Erhu and Gao Yang sparring. Dean, don't blame me, he beat me like this." Zhu Erhu covered his stomach and pointed at Gao Yang and said. The dean frowned when he heard this and looked at Gao Yang. "Student, can you explain what's going on?" Gao Yang said calmly, "Nothing, Instructor Ju just took the initiative to spar with me, but I didn't expect him to be so weak. You? Ju Erhu blushed and wanted to find a hole to hide in. How dare you fight with the instructor in public? What's your name? Meng Dehua was obviously a little angry. After all, Ju Erhu was the instructor he personally selected. If a freshman dared to do this, it would undoubtedly be a slap in his face. Gao Yang. Gao Yang nodded, without saying anything more, and followed the dean to the office. Along the way, Meng Dehua looked serious, as if he was thinking about how to teach Gao Yang a lesson. Gao Yang looked calm, as if this matter had no effect on him. When they arrived at the office, Meng Dehua motioned Gao Yang to sit down, and then said, Gao Yang, as a freshman, you dared to fight with the instructor. This is a serious violation of school rules. I must punish you. Meng Dehua's tone was stern, and it was obvious that he did not intend to let Gao Yang go easily. However, Gao Yang was not panicked at all. He said calmly, Dean, I think you should understand the truth of the matter before making a decision. Instructor Ju took the initiative to ask me to compete with him. I only fought in self-defense. Moreover, I did not use any illegal means. Everything was a fair contest. Meng Dehua's face changed slightly when he heard this. He did not expect Gao Yang to defend himself so calmly, which made him feel that his authority was greatly challenged. A mere freshman, who had just entered school, dared to talk to him like this. What will happen in the future? Par. Meng Dehua slammed the table and roared. I don't care what you think, I care what I think. You are just a freshman, who gave you the courage to talk to me like that? Do you believe I will expel you? Chapter 30. So this is the taste of power. Gao Yang looked up and met Meng Dehua's gaze. Oh, you can try. Meng Dehua gritted his teeth and said, I warn you, young people, don't be too aggressive. I am your dean. Gao Yang said calmly. If you are not aggressive, can you still be called a young man? Has the dean never been young? Meng Dehua pointed at Gao Yang and cursed. Are you provoking me? Okay, I will make you pay for your behavior. Ring, ring, ring. At this time, Meng Dehua suddenly received a call. Seeing the caller ID, Meng Dehua was frightened all over. It turned out to be the principal calling. Principal, you are looking for me. Yes, Xiao Meng, where are you now? Come to my office immediately. I have something important to tell you. The serious voice of Principal Chi Bin came from the other end of the phone. Meng Dehua was startled and quickly replied, Principal, I'm in the office now and will be there soon. He hung up the phone, and a layer of cold sweat broke out on his forehead. The principal called in person, so something big must have happened. Meng Dehua was confused. Could it be related to Gao Yang? But how could a freshman alarm the principal? He didn't have time to think about it, and immediately got up and went to the principal's office. Gao Yang received a text message that read, I've taken care of it for you. Don't tell your mother about it, or she will blame me for spoiling you. Gao Yang smiled and thought that his father was quite efficient. It turned out that on their way here just now, Gao Yang edited a text message to his father Gao Chichang, briefly telling him what happened just now. It seemed that Gao Chichang had directly found the head of the president of Jinghai University. But Gao Yang was not surprised. After all, with the current power of their Gao family, the principal also wanted his family to give him face. At this moment, in the principal's office, Meng Dehua hurried over and saw Principal Chi Bin sitting at his desk with a serious face as soon as he entered the door. Principal, what do you want to talk to me about? Meng Dehua asked cautiously. Chi Bin glanced at him and said in a deep voice. Xiao Meng, do you know who the student you wanted to deal with just now is? No. I don't know. What surprised Meng Dehua even more was that Chi Bin knew about it right after he brought Gao Yang to the office. His name is Gao Yang, his father is Gao Chichang, the chairman of Changshan Group. I don't need to say more about the rest. What? Meng Dehua's face changed drastically when he heard it. Of course he knew Changshan Group, which was the largest enterprise in the city, the leader in taxation in the entire Jinghai city, and Gao Chichang was a legendary figure in the business world. It was rumored that his family background was even more powerful. Meng Dehua didn't expect that he would offend such a person. Now Director Gao has called me personally and asked me to handle this matter properly. Xiao Meng, tell me, what happened? Qi Bin asked. Meng Dehua did not dare to hide anything and told him everything. After listening, the principal frowned. He knew that if this matter was not handled well, it would likely affect the relationship between the school and Qiangshan Group. And Qiangshan Group has donated at least several hundred million to Jinghai University over the years. President Meng, you were too impulsive this time. If you offend Qiangshan Group because of this matter, do you know the consequences? Qi Bin asked. Yes, President, I know I was wrong. Meng Dehua bowed his head and admitted his mistake. Now go and call Gao Yang, I will talk to him in person. Meng Dehua nodded quickly and turned to leave the office. He knew that he was in trouble this time. Now as long as he could calm Gao Yang's anger and keep his position, he would be lucky. Soon after, Gao Yang was taken to the principal's office. As soon as he entered the door, he saw the principal and Meng Dehua inside, and the atmosphere was a bit solemn. Student Gao Yang, you are here. Principal Qi Bin actually stood up and shook hands with Gao Yang with a smile. Gao Yang shook hands with him and asked in a neither humble nor arrogant manner. Principal, what do you want to talk to me about? Qi Bin smiled, glanced at Meng Dehua next to him, and then said. Student Gao Yang, I have learned about what happened just now. It was Dean Meng who handled it improperly and brought you unnecessary trouble. I apologize to you on behalf of the school. Gao Yang saw that Qi Bin was so humble, and he also planned to stop while he was ahead. Principal, you are too serious, it's just a small matter. He didn't want to make things too awkward, after all, he still had to stay in school for 4 years. Qi Bin nodded and continued. However, since it has happened, we have to give an explanation. President Meng, as the person in charge of the college, your handling of this matter is indeed inappropriate. I have decided to punish you with a demerit and reflection. I hope you can reflect deeply on your mistakes. Meng Dehua's face turned pale when he heard this. He didn't expect the principal to deal with him so harshly. Although he was unwilling in his heart, he also knew that there was no room for rebuttal now, so he could only bow his head and admit his mistakes. Yes, principal, I know I was wrong. Qi Bin didn't look at him again, but turned to Gao Yang and said. Student Gao Yang, the school will give you a satisfactory answer to this matter. At the same time, I also hope that you can continue to study hard and win glory for our school. Gao Yang nodded and said. Thank you for your understanding, principal, I will. Qi Bin smiled, chatted with Gao Yang for a few more words, and sent him out of the office. And Meng Dehua stayed where he was, waiting for further punishment. He felt mixed emotions and regretted a lot. He didn't expect that he would fall into the hands of a freshman. However, he also knew that all this was his own fault. If he hadn't been so impulsive at the beginning, there would not be the current result. And Gao Yang left the principal's office calmly. He was not too interested in Meng Dehua's fate. After all, his current identity was different and his perception of things was different. If it were in the previous life, he might not even see the dean, but now even the principal apologized to him in person. Just because he was Gao Chiqiang's son. So this is power. No wonder so many people throughout the ages have fought to climb up even if they were blooded. Gao Yang was quite emotional. Now Gao Yang can be said to have tasted the taste of power for the first time, which is an addictive taste. At this time, Gao Yang's cell phone suddenly rang. It was Lin Wanner calling. Hello, brother Gao Yang, do you have time now? What's wrong, Wanner? Well, my dad knows that we are in love, and he insists on meeting you.